Grizzlies. You just got regular NBA stuff. College basketball started today. You watching any college basketball today?
Not a lot.
Not. What does that mean? Not a lot.
I've been watching it vicariously on there. So,
Landon, any college basketball for you today?
No.
I knew the answer to that.
I know.
It's football season.
You're so direct and to the point, Landon. I love it.
I got kind of down on the college deal today after hearing our Lady Tigers lost to UAPB. So
yeah, I didn't want to get into that, but they did.
Yeah.
Our buddy Greg Gaston was on the call for that one, so not great. Not great, but I guess you can only go up from here, right?
They had one D1 win last year, dude. So
who?
UAPB.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Tigers. I was like, I didn't know
UAPB. That was last year.
Oh,
got one off the rip this year, so it'll get better.
Only place to go is up. For the Grizzlies, I don't know if the only way to go is up.
We're at the bottom ever since, like, I give or take, like the Zach Randolph, Tony Allen stuff. This is where we're at. There is it's the only one place to go is up.
So there's a lot of good things and then bad things about doing the afternoon show on a Monday, especially because I feel like a lot of things that we talk about, like everyone else has already talked about it, right?
Yeah, okay, I get you.
In this sense of we're about to play a video that I'm sure everyone has heard a million times, but in case you haven't heard it, we're gonna play it. This is the video from after the game Friday night. Ja Morant talking to reporters. And, I'll just let him explain everything with his answers to the questions.
What went wrong for you today?
Go ask the coaching staff.
Do you feel like, it was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You go ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay. You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff. Should I play more or not?
What could have been done different to get a different outcome other than asking the coaching staff?
According to them, probably don't play me, honestly. That's what basically the message was after, so it's cool.
The coaching staff message was that?
It's cool. We good?
You didn't have anything physically wrong in terms of illness or anything?
Oh, no,
you were under the weather?
Fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
So that was Ja Morant after the loss against the Los Angeles Lakers Friday night.
I appreciate you playing it. I do. Because
you're welcome.
Because I've heard it several times, and that was the first time I came away with 3 new questions.
Okay. Ask away.
The first is...
I don't know if I have the answers, but...
No, and I mean from a media standpoint to the coaches, because they said, hey, you're playing time. Go ask the coaches. That would be a question today. Second, when he stated, hey, they basically said they didn't want me to play. Did you guys say that? And the third was anything directed to Ja in particular when the coach spoke or whenever he, I guess addressed the team or addressed the media. But there's some new questions now that I've heard that again.
Yeah.
I've just been listening from the standpoint of Ja's been griping. I'm the person that, people in the city of Memphis wants to egg my car because I'm tired of this. Like, you're the highest paid person on the team. Is he? Or is Jaren now? Is Jaren?
Jaren is now. But don't quote me on that.
But you're the leader of the team. And if you feel that way, I was telling John Harden this. You can listen to us every day, 11 to 1, on Happy Hour with John Harden. I said, John, don't play me today. And John says, no, I'll always play you there. John, don't play me today. So I just kept saying it again in an insubordinate fashion to kind of give it. John wasn't picking up what I was putting down. I was being insubordinate. My thing is, have that conversation with Pops when you're on the way home, or the girlfriend, or call your best friend Brian Dakins and have that conversation. Those eyebrows up and the way that he answered those questions were very self-centered to me. They gave me, don't embarrass me, dog, period. Like, that's what it gave to me. But, I digress.
So, just the rundown of kind of everything that happened. So, Grizzlies playing the Lakers Friday night. Come out, they look really good early. They're playing really well. I don't remember if they were leading at half or not, but it was a very close game. They were
down by a little.
I was going to say our buddy was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you
in
were there
in a different capacity, but yes.
I saw them walk somebody out. Did they maybe walk you out? Coming back from a break, I saw that.
I don't know if I can confirm nor deny.
Okay. All right, that's an off-air conversation. I knew that when
we
I
know
asked
contractually obligations stuff.
Let's just say
I know about that.
Let's just say some stuff went down.
Okay, I love it. We'll have to talk about that off-air. But yeah. So, but it was a good, if I recall correctly, it was a really good second half or second quarter. Good start to the game. They were playing well. They led early, and if I remember, it was kind of a spark from the bench, especially in the second quarter. The bench was playing well. They go to half. They come back out in the second half, and Ja Morant. I saw somebody on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, say that basically Ja Morant was on the court watching the game. That he just was completely out of the game, completely out of all of it. I should say DeMichael Cole is going to join us here at 5 o'clock, so we'll definitely get maybe some of these questions answered from DeMichael Cole. But he was completely out of it, did not have a single point in that second half. After the game, he speaks to the media at the exact same time that Tomas Isolo is having his media availability, to the point where no media member, according to what has been reported, no media member was in the head coach's interview, because they were all talking to Ja Morant, that Coach Isolo made a statement, took one question from a PR person, and then was done and left. By the time all the media members were trying to go to Coach Isolo, he was done.
Because Ja brought up the spiel. I want to know where the spiel happened.
Right. So then, after that, Saturday, we get the news that Ja Morant is suspended for 1 game.
By the team, not the NBA.
By the team for
conduct detrimental.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't play last night against Toronto, but before the game last night against Toronto, he posts on his social media, on an Instagram story, basically with just a sign that says, "Let's go Grizz." And
trolling.
Now both sides say they're ready to move, or at least Coach Isolo said that both sides are ready to move on.
I hope so.
Now here is something, I don't know if you saw this, but Shams Charania was doing a lot of reporting about this over the weekend. So he tweeted out, Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant has been suspended 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. He quote tweeted that and said, suspension comes as a result of Grizzlies coach Tomas Isolo challenging Morant's leadership and effort in a post-game exchange after the loss to the Lakers on Friday night, to which Morant responded in a tone deemed inappropriate, sources said. So now this brings more questions, right? Because I think everything I've seen from Grizzly-centric reporters, so beat writers, different things like that, teams that cover the team every single night, and if you just watch the game, I think you could see it, there was a change at halftime. So something happened at halftime that led to Ja Morant being very out of it in the second half. So much so that I got a text from a buddy of mine in a group chat that he was sitting courtside at the game Friday night, and he texted this and said, someone said, let's get going, Ja. And Ja responded, tell the coach to effing play me. So very clearly, something happened at halftime. Ja Morant was not happy about it in the second half. Looked completely out of it. And then after the game, after that poor effort, Coach Isolo, who everything I've heard about Coach Isolo, I've never met him, I've never interacted with him. Everybody says that he's very direct, he's very to the point. He got after Ja post game, said, you got to be better as a leader, as a player, and Ja didn't take that one.
You got to think that also comes from being overseas. If I take Brian Dacus and drop him in Milan, Italy, and now he's the coach of the team over there in Milan, Italy, you wouldn't care who the Michael Jordan of Italy was. If you see what I'm saying? No, of course, the community, the organization will tell you, hey, Landon Schnitzelbarger is our Michael Jordan. You know, yeah, Schnitzelbarger.
His name is my name too.
Yeah, so he's our Michael Jordan, but you have a point to prove because you're a foreigner. Mm-hmm. You want to let the organization, the community, the team, Landon Schnitzelbarger, you want to let everybody know that you're in control. And I think that was the point Isolo was trying to prove. But I've also heard from those that cover the Grizzlies say, hey, that's not how you convey it to a superstar. Not this early in your tenure. You have to show us that works. I don't believe that, man. I mean, we all come from the restaurant world. We all come from chain of command. If you go in the back of the house, Mr. Schnitzelbarger, and you get a fry out of that fry basket, that back of the house manager is going to have something to say to you. Regardless if you're the best server, the best bartender, the best hostess, your butt belongs in the front of the house. Aces in their places, people. So I get really passionate when I see his reply, his demeanor. It's really dismissive of, you don't know nothing, dog.
Now, here's the thing. Ja ain't the first, and Ja ain't going to be the last superstar.
Of course not.
That bickers with his coach.
Of course not.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, well, no, Magic Johnson got his with Westfall.
Yeah, I mean, look, it happens. It happens with everybody.
It happens.
But I think the concerning thing is that whoever decided with Coach Jenkins, he's out of here. Because I was told, now I don't know if Brett always says Twitter's not a real place, but I was told by Grizzlies Twitter, Ja and Coach Jenkins did not rock. Yeah. They were not on the same page. So now we're 6 games in, and Ja is getting suspended because he and the head coach have an issue. Now, on the same topic, like, there are times, and I think it's happened with a lot of people, and I think it's happened especially in sports where tensions are high and everyone's competitive. Like, sometimes there are things that just, it needs to happen, and then everybody just moves on and everything's fine after that. Like, sometimes you just got to have that blow up to move on, to move forward. And maybe that's what we saw here. We won't know until we kind of and who knows if we know tonight, but we're really not going to know until a couple months down the road, because I very well could see John Morant's supposed to be back tonight. I could very well see he goes out there and everything's fine, and then in 2 weeks something else happens. Like, that's a possibility. Yeah. But also, I could see this just being that one thing. Because here's the thing, it's very hard for me to believe that John Morant and Tomas Isolo were best friends, got along great, and then something happened Friday night, and it blew up. Yeah. This feels like something that was kind of bubbling, something that was building, and then it reached the point where everything, happened Friday night.
And if you've been watching this season, you can. I mean, there was a build to being down 40, 50 points to the Heat. Mm-hmm. And then
the Heat game was ugly.
Yeah, the Heat game was ugly. And then I go back to the Phoenix Suns game where everyone and their mother came to work the next day at the water cooler and said, "Did you see Ja in that game-winning shot?" Mm-hmm. If you watch the last quarter, but primarily the last 5 minutes, Triple J, chair gets pulled away from under him by Mark Williams, travel or turnover. Ja had maybe 2 turnovers in that last 5 or 6 minutes, I believe. My point is, from a coach's standpoint, it shouldn't have come to that. If you're my veteran presence, you say we're in year 7, right? Mm-hmm. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, yada, yada, yada. Sure. You're my leader. You got to bring that game home. He still plays like rookie Ja sometimes. Mm. Well, no, rookie Ja was actually pretty good. He still plays sporadically sometimes. You don't feel the composure. You don't feel like John Stockton has the ball. Mm-hmm. You don't feel like Isaiah Thomas has the ball and he's going to bring us home. If you see what I'm saying, it's a 50-50 shot if we're up 8, 9, 10 points with 5, 6 minutes to go, if we'll win or lose the game. And from a coach, that has to drive you crazy. From a fan standpoint, it drives me crazy. But then, games gets close, we get in the pickle, and like Josh says,
call 12.
Everybody know what time it is. Give 12 that pill, and that's what's going to happen. Yes, he won the game, but that Phoenix game shouldn't have come to that. And as a coach, I'm irate at that. That's the stuff you have to coach out of him. And does he want that coach or not?
Now, and I completely I see what you're saying. I completely get it, but I would argue, and I'm going to send you something. One of our buddies.
Not a check.
One of our buddies wrote about the differences between the Grizzlies' offense now and what it's been the last couple of years. Okay. I think that if you watch, and especially right now with injuries and different things like that, a lot of time when the Grizzlies get the ball, it's some sort of ball screen, and it's just dudes just standing around, and it's Ja, go make something happen. And so when you put him in that situation, you're basically
you're
telling
not really
them,
running an
like we're gonna live or die, because and it's something, I don't know if you watched the Prime broadcast Friday night, which I love.
Yes.
The Prime broadcast.
I mean,
the
I hated
post-game,
it.
Pre-game, post-game is what I'm talking about.
The only reason I hate it because they took you away from cable. Like
that's true.
Whatever.
But like I was telling,
Other than that, it was a good
I think it was when Keith Smith was on with us last Thursday. The pre and post game show on Prime, like that is the first pre and post game show that I'm like, that's built for like people my age.
Yeah, because that's Taylor Rooks,
Blake Griffin,
my man from Miami, Haslam.
Yeah,
UD.
Steve Nash usually is on, and Dirk Nowitzki.
And Dirk, that's who's on the
That's a crazy group. Like that group is so much fun, and I think like they're still kind of like learning their roles and like trying to figure things out. But it's really good. But Friday night after the Grizzlies game, they had Bam Adebayo and Norman Powell in studio with them. And, they have that court in the studio where they go and they can run plays and show different things. They were showing their offense. Yeah. That was the offense the Grizzlies ran last year, which is this bottomless dribble drive where it's kind of positionless and everyone's just, it's more of like a wheel, but it's like everyone's just moving all the time and you're reading and reacting on what the defense is doing. And so everybody's involved. And now this year, it's kind of just like, hey, let's do a ball screen and then like do something.
Wasn't it stated before Isolo got here that he favored big men across?
So that was one thing that was, he favors big men and he likes the pick and roll, like because that was supposedly like the thing that everyone was talking about is like Ja Morant thrives in pick and roll.
Please don't tell me that.
Tomas Isolo coaches pick and roll offense.
Well,
and so
I'm waiting for it to look like Denver. I'm not gonna say long. I'm starting to plant hills that I can stand on, and this hill that I'm standing on now is that Ja and Jaren needs to look like Jokic and Murray.
So okay.
It needs to look like.
Can Jaren play that role though?
Yes, they can, because they reset it. If you look at it, either one of them will set the screen. Mm-hmm. Murray will set it for Jokic. Jokic will set it for Murray. Once you take that pick and that the defense commits either or, if you don't have the advantage, what they do is they reset it and they run it again until they get the advantage. Mm-hmm. How hard is that, sir? Yeah. I mean, Mr. Schnitzelbarger can run that off.
I mean, I'd take Landon in the pick and roll.
Oh, I've been there before.
Yeah, but you understand, like, you see what I'm saying? You obviously, like, when we were hosting Happy Hour a couple of weeks ago, we did NBA, and you were all over the Nuggets, as so I.
For sure.
But you watch that offense, and that offense hasn't changed, even though Michael Malone is gone. That is a Jokic Murray offense. Run it, set it. Run it, set it. They're going to keep hitting you across the head until it works. And if they don't, that's when they have the shooters in the corner. This offense has to look like that. But it has to.
Because Jokic is a coach. On the court, he's the guy out there leading.
I'd sign up for one of those.
Yeah, I would too.
But can Jaren be the playmaker?
That's what I was just saying. I'd sign up for him to be the coach. That's what we're all asking.
But can he?
He's better than what he is, y'all. Like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, can he? Like, I'm.
You're genuinely asking. Okay. I think that's the question, y'all, because he has it in him to be 27-12 guy, to be Anthony Davis. He has the physical capability.
Has it in him, but how long are we going to coast on potential?
Don't have the eggs hit your car too, sir. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Well, because when you start the question, people say
they can go ahead and do it. But I was coming away from the Grizzlies games that I've seen so far, and I have this genuine question for you guys. Who would you say on our team is like our surefire 3-point shooter?
Scotty. Scotty shot 40% last
year. And he's out.
Sure. Yeah,
and he's out right now. But Scotty.
And if that's our only guy,
I will give you a second. What is it? OI, outside looking in? OLI. I'm starting to get it because those acronyms just get.
If you want to say honorable mention, that makes sense.
I like saying what it is, but it's the letters. It always gets me. KCP should be. Now, he had a bad year last year, and a lot of people...
Should be, and he's a great defensive player.
But a lot of people put last year on him not being aces in their places down in Orlando. Didn't have a point guard, so on and so forth.
Wells, especially, that he's kind of struggled.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
Kind of no point guard again, right?
Well, yeah.
At least yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think Cedric could turn into that. I mean, it's a very small sample size, but so far he shot the ball.
He's looking really good.
Yeah, no, he's looking great. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of questions.
But I guess that answer is a no. We don't have surefire. You say surefire, right?
Surefire, where he pulls up from three, and you're just like, yeah, that thing's going in. No matter where he is, no matter who's covering him, it's going in. I don't think we have that.
No, I don't think so.
We had a left-handed tall guy that used to shoot like that last year.
We sure did.
His name is Luke.
What's Luke doing right now?
I don't know. Where's Luke at?
Good
Where's Light Him Up Luke at? That's what we call him at Action News 5. We call him Light Him Up Luke.
He's in Atlanta, and he's not. I don't think he's shooting the ball very well. Let's see. And neither is Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain's not shooting the ball.
He misses us. We should lowball him.
I don't think he wants to come back.
Yeah, he wants to come back.
Where's shooting splits? Here we go.
You say Bain's not doing his will and
Oh no, he's shooting 47% from 3.
He's gonna explode, y'all. He's
He'll
gonna
get
explode.
comfy.
He's going to get comfy, and when he does, he's gonna look like the leader of that team. Like
you're high on the Magic, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because of Bain. Like that was our like.
Oh, I was talking about
what you're
Luke
looking
Kennard.
for. We traded.
He was talking about.
I was
Kennard.
talking about Kennard shooting 47%.
Okay.
Bain shooting. I thought you said.
I mean,
We were
still,
talking about
that's not bad.
Let's see.
Yeah, I was talking about Kennard. Yeah, that's what I was talking
Dez is shooting 25% from 3. I'll round up 26%.
He's been hanging at Mickey Mouse a little too long. He'll stop that and then he'll get out.
We'll see. We'll get more into this a little bit later. Like I mentioned, Michael Cole's going to join us at 5 o'clock to talk all about the Grizzlies, but we have got to get to top and not top story of the day. Before we do that, let me give you our rundown for today's show. 3:30, Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us. He does help out with basketball. He helps out with Grizzlies, so maybe we might ask him a little bit about Ja, but we got to talk Tiger football. They got the big win Friday night on the road against Rice. Made it look very easy against the Owls. So we'll talk about what he saw in that matchup. We'll start previewing Friday night's game against UCF. 3:45, we'll talk the World Series as it came to an end over the weekend. The Dodgers win back-to-back World Series with a Game 7 victory, an extra inning Game 7 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports. He'll join us, talk college football and a little bit of college basketball as the college basketball season tipped off earlier this morning at 7 a.m. 4:30, we'll get to our Sissy's Log Cabin, look back at the weekend in the SEC. A lot that we have to go through regarding the SEC from the weekend. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. We'll talk a lot of Ja Morant and what he's seeing with this Grizzlies team right now. 5:30, we'll get to our Monday Night Football pick and preview. We'll also get to our Big Four Cowboys and Big Four Cardinals of all time. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The hot tub and swim spa clearance sales going on right now at Family Leisure. Hot tub starting at $24.99 and swim spas starting at $14,999. In-stock patio furniture up to 50%, and hot tub covers are starting at $249, and the swim spas and cover lifts are starting at just $99. Special financing is always available at Family Leisure, and if you mention this ad, receive a free gift with the hot tub purchase. Head out there, Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. You can be a part of the show. Let us know your thoughts on Ja Morant, the Grizzlies, the Tigers, anything from the weekend. Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255. Text, call, whatever you got to do. Let us know your thoughts on everything from the weekend. And I should remind you that this first hour is brought to you each and every day by Lexus of Memphis. Brett tells you every single afternoon about the great deals, the great vehicles that Lexus of Memphis has. So make sure you head out there this week. It's a pretty day today, so it's a nice day to go out there and shop for that new vehicle. But let's go ahead and get to top story of the day.
Top story of the day.
Well, we spent the first 20 minutes or so on the top story of the day, so I'm not going to spend too much time because we need to get to a break here very quickly. So I'm not going to spend much time on this. We'll talk about it more with DeMichael Cole, but Eli Savoy, he always talks about the Grizzasters. Friday night, that was a Grizaster. From the effort in the second half, when you had an opportunity to beat that Lakers team, to go out there, lose the way you did, and for everything to just unravel after the game with Ja Morant. He gets suspended. He misses Sunday's game, which means they ended up losing Sunday's game against Toronto. So now coming off back-to-back losses, Ja Morant back tonight. I'm sure we'll hear from him after the game. I don't know if we'll hear from him before the game. I think it would be smart for the Grizzlies to have some sort of him available before the game. I know some players are sometimes available for the game. Make him available before so we can get those questions out of the way, answer them, go handle business on the court, come back and just talk about the game.
You want them to be
moving
mature.
on. Well, I would like that. And we'll
How
see.
sweet.
Might be a big ask.
It might, but we'll see what it looks like. Both sides say they're ready to move on, and we'll see if tonight against the Detroit Pistons, if they start moving forward.
Well,
together.
smart man Terry Davis told me, Mr. Dakis, don't turn one loss into two, and that's what we did on yesterday, because he simply suggested maybe Ja could have gotten a suspension, but whatever. My top story, I don't know what we would be leading with. Would it be Ja, or would it be the Memphis Tigers had they lost to Rice? But they did not. Houston had a problem down in Texas on Friday as the Memphis Tigers, they covered again. So you're number 25 now, newly ranked. Memphis Tigers, big winners, and I do not believe that victory was in vain. They still keep their hopes alive, no matter how slim they are, but that would have been a huge letdown. So top story, us not falling into the trap game. Good job, Silverfield and team.
Not top story of the day.
Yeah, well, that's my not top story of the day. Tigers handled business Friday night on the road against Rice. I said it multiple times last week. This is not a game. I heard so many people talking about, well, you lost to UAB. I'm super worried about this game. No. The offense that Rice runs, if you could just get ahead, it was going to be over, and that's exactly what you saw this Tiger team do. They got some stops. They got some turnovers early. You saw it, 14 points in the first quarter, 17 points in the second quarter, and then they really didn't need to do anything in the second half. But it didn't come, it was an easy win, but it came with some scary visuals as Brendan Lewis hobbled off the field with another injury. Now, it sounds like today, offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey said that he practice, looked good in practice, so hopefully that means good news for this weekend. I'm sure we won't learn anything until later in the week, but a big win for the Tigers, because if they're going to make the college football playoffs or at least have a chance, they got to continue to take care of business, and they did that Friday night. Well,
my not top story goes to the Toronto Blue Jays for the way that they lost that thrilling and one of the best World Series ever to give the Dodgers their 9th World Series victory. Those guys were up 4-2. At one point, all the way up into the 6th inning, I believe, they were up 4-2. Looked like that they were going to bring this thing home. The bats were humming. The fans, you could feel it. You saw Drake in the stands, and not like us happened. Like something happened, and the Dodgers brought it home. So my not top story today is the way that the Blue Jays lost. That double play will go down in infamy on how they lost. But shout out to the Dodgers. I think I have a little more for them later on. My notable second best team, as Mr. Dakis always tries to point out on this area.
No, it is.
No matter how much of a Cardinal I try to be, he says, but ain't your other team? I was like, oh,
yeah, you can't try hard enough.
Well, I'm a wide open Met.
That's right.
And we're struggling right now.
You only got one team, and yes, they are unfortunately struggling. That will do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to a break. When we return, we'll talk more Tiger football. The Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, Jonah Dillon. He joins us next.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Whitten Road.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's starting to get heavier on I-40 across the bridge here, back over in the West Memphis, Crittenden County. A little bit of radar over in parts of Arkansas this afternoon. Midtown traffic's trying to pick up the last few minutes as we check it out live here with that steady flow of traffic on 240 southbound all the way down past Norris. Zips Car Wash, that's where I go. You can get upgraded shine and protection right now at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you this afternoon. Brett Norsworthy out for the next couple of days. He'll be back with us later in the week. But we got to talk some Tiger football after the Grizzlies dominated that first segment for us. We got to talk Tiger football after their 38-14 win over Rice. Joining us now to do that, Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. Jonah, thanks so much for joining us. You were down in Houston with more than 20,000 of your closest friends at the Rice game. At least that's what Rice said the count was. Your picture looked like maybe, 18,000 less in attendance for that game Friday night. But it was an easy one for the Tigers against the Rice Owls. What did you see, especially early, from this Tiger team to really get out in front and put this game to bed very early?
Yeah, well, first off, like you said, my tweet about the attendance number was by far the most engaged with thing from the game. I think that tells you about the football that was played. Basically the game was over 5 minutes in. Memphis gets a stop right at the beginning, goes down and scores, and then forces a turnover, which was a huge key to victory because the one thing that Rice had done well offensively was not turn the ball over. Memphis forces a turnover, gets the ball back in the red zone, scores again. It's 14-0, about 5 minutes is gone, and when you're playing against an option offense, which is what Rice is, that means the game is over, right? And so, yes, they obviously could have come back. They've had some success with explosive plays against other teams, but their offense, they just couldn't get anything going at the beginning, and they kept putting themselves in situations where they were behind the sticks and then having to look at 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 8s. And again, if you're an option offense, you're just setting yourself up to fail at that point, trying to run pass plays with guys who are not equipped to pass protect. The Memphis defensive line has not been great at generating pressure on a quarterback this year, but against this offensive line, they had no problems doing that, especially on 3rd down. And so, effectively, after that, the game was over, to be honest. Now, it was important that Memphis kind of took care of business. We saw what happened against UAB. We've seen other teams in this conference not be able to do that, but I'm not sure we learned a lot after that in terms of what was going on.
All right, so the Grizzlies still loaded with the Grizzlies. My apologies. The Tigers are in second place in the AAC. And tomorrow is November the 4th.
You're not allowed to call it the AAC anymore, see? Just the American.
Just the American. Okay, we'll call it the American. So tomorrow is the big reveal. Tomorrow's Tuesday, November the 4th. Tomorrow's the first college football playoff rankings. And we all know where we want to be on the final bracket, which happens on December the 7th. But tell us, what do you expect with the Tigers on tomorrow? Do you expect us to be in this initial college football reveal, or will we still have a little more work to do?
Yeah, I would expect Memphis to be probably the only ranked Group of 5 team and then be the number 12 seed in the bracket when they put the bracket up. In terms of the rankings, like I said, Memphis probably in the 20 to 25 range at this point. It's hard for me to see any other Group of 5 team being ranked at this point, especially given the fact that Navy, which was close, lost last week, and Tulane, which was close, lost as well. So I think Memphis right now looks like it's pretty clearly going to be the top ranked team in the Group of 5. Like you said, it doesn't mean anything now. It only means something in the final ranking in December, but it's definitely going to get people talking because you're going to see Memphis up there with a 12. You're going to see a team up there with a 5 and a potential matchup, and it's going to be an Alabama-Georgia type team. So people are going to start thinking realistically about that being a possibility. Once you look at a bracket, an official one on ESPN, and it has Memphis in the playoff against one of those teams. So I think people are going to be excited by it, but again, you got to keep winning, and that's just a snapshot of where we are right now.
The big story from that win against Rice was the Brendan Lewis injury in the fourth quarter. I think, the conversation is there, and I'm pretty sure after the game, Ryan Silverfield said that was going to be Brendan Lewis's final series of the game. He was going to come out after that. It was unfortunate he got injured there. I know there's been some people debating if he should have been out there in the fourth quarter to begin with, but Brendan Lewis was out there. He gets injured. He does not play the rest of the game. He looks in pain on the sidelines. On the broadcast, they kept going down there. I know he went into the medical tent for a little bit. What did you see on that play? What have you heard now? I know you talked to Tim Cramsey, the offensive coordinator, earlier today, and he made it sound like good news on the horizon in terms of Brendan Lewis's status. What can you tell us with yet another injury scare for Brendan Lewis?
Yeah, it seems like good news. Now, the question, I think, is more what percentage is he going to be when we get to Friday night? Because obviously, as any coach will tell you at this point in the season, nobody's 100%. But you're talking about somebody who's obviously had multiple injuries that appear to be the same thing, or at least some kind of lower body injury. And then you talk about a quarterback whose main strength this season has been his ability to run the ball. And so obviously, if you're not 100% in terms of your movement, that affects a lot of things. The signs are better, I think, than the last injury that we saw when he left against UAB after the game. I don't know if you saw my zoomed-in video from the press box, but I saw him. He was walking off the field, looked like he was limping a little bit, but after the last game, he was, of course, on crutches and wearing a walking boot. Like you said, Tim Cramsey said that he practiced today. So it seems like he's doing well and expected to play. We'll see, obviously, as we get later in the week. But seems like good signs on that one. The other thing, like you said, the question about if he should have been in the game, like you said, Ryan Silverfield said he was going to come out maybe the next drive, but obviously at that point, the game was over. As I said, to me, the game was over 5 minutes in, but it was especially over when it was 38-7 in the fourth quarter. And he was running the ball a lot on that drive. I think 3 out of 4 plays or something were him running the ball, and then he gets hurt on that point of the game. So I totally understand the response from fans saying, like, well, why is this happening? At the same time, as long as he ends up being good to go, you just think about that and, hey, let's not do that again next time if you end up in that situation.
Sure, absolutely. Last week we talked about Sutton Smith and some of his usage, only 2 carries against Rice. Now, again, I think the argument's there is, you blew him out. You really didn't need to waste everybody or wear down everybody. But when you look at this, you mentioned Brendan Lewis running a lot. He led the team with 12 carries and led them with 87 rushing yards. Greg Dwosey, only 7 carries. Frank Pizant, 10 carries. And then Sutton Smith, 2. So really, your top 2 running backs combined for 9 carries against Rice. Do you think that was just more of, hey, we know we're going to win this game. You knew very early you were going to win this game. Let's maybe save those guys with some big games coming up, or is it something more there?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that people, definitely one of the talking points over the past couple of weeks. Memphis, obviously the first 6 weeks of the season, all we talked about was how effective this running game was with a bunch of different guys, and then the last 2 weeks it hasn't really been that way. With Sutton Smith, you're talking about those first couple of games in the season when he played really well. He was the number 1 running back, and Greg DeWozier was out, so there was no split going on. Now Greg DeLozier is back, so they're splitting already, so that means less carries for him. And then I think a bigger story is what we've seen over the past 3 games, which is that defenses clearly watched the first 6 games of Memphis this season, and they had the same reaction that we did, which was, wow, they're really good at running the ball. And so the response is, we're going to take it away and we're going to make them throw it. And we saw against South Florida, Memphis won a game by doing that, by throwing the ball. But if I'm an opposing defensive coordinator, I'm still going to look at this offense and say, let's see if they can beat us through the air. I mean, really, Memphis' offense, you saw it in that game against South Florida. They have one receiver that you'd feel threatened by in Cortez Braham. Besides that, if you're an opposing defensive coordinator, I think you'd rather take your chances with the passing game, especially with a quarterback who's not 100%, than with Greg DeLozier, Sutton Smith, because you've seen what they can do. You see how dynamic they can be if you keep giving them opportunities in open space. And so I think it's the way that Memphis is being defended now. They're going to try to adjust to the adjustment and see if they can find a way to be more effective in the running game. But I think all those things together are making those stats definitely for Sutton Smith, Greg DeLozier go down a lot from earlier in the season.
This Friday night, Memphis will host Tulane, a big game, but now a 2-loss Tulane team as they come in following the loss, I believe it was Thursday night, on the road against UTSA. So kind of similar last year where the Tigers went down to UTSA, got the loss there. Now happening with Tulane as they go down to San Antonio, get the loss. But last year it was Memphis that crushed Tulane's college football playoff hopes. Now Tulane can do the same thing to Memphis Friday night. What do you expect in this matchup?
Yeah, first of all, nobody can win in the Alamo Dome. That's important to note. It doesn't matter. You could, bring Alabama in there, and it doesn't matter. Nobody should sign a home and home. Well, I guess it's only conference game, so you better hope you don't have to play there. I'm telling you, having covered a game there last year, there's something supernatural going on in that building, especially on Halloween weekend.
That's true.
So Tulane never stood a chance. I know a lot of Memphis fans saw that, and I'm seeing some Tulane fans already saying that their team is quitting and Summerall is leaving and all this type of stuff. There's a chance, though, you think about just a couple weeks ago, Memphis goes to UAB, loses a game it shouldn't lose, and clearly is unhappy and pissed off and comes out the next week and plays much better and wins a game that people didn't think they were going to win because of how they played the week before. I think there's a chance for Tulane. They're certainly not out of the playoff race or the conference title race if they can win this game. And if they win this game, they'll be right back towards the top of it, to be honest, when you look at their schedule. And so my guess is that John Summerall is going to do everything he can to motivate this team. Now, they could come out flat and it could be, hey, this team quit and they're done. It just doesn't seem like that's what we've seen from this team and from John Summerall. And so, to be honest, if I'm a Memphis fan, I'm thinking we're going to get this team's best shot. And this team's best shot is really good. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I think it'll be a really competitive game.
Jonah, speaking of getting this team's best shot, my one quick question is, what is, I guess in a phrase or two or one word or two, if I tell you Memphis wins this game, if they do what? Jonah Dillon says they do what to win this game?
Force turnovers. I think that's what it is. You saw Tulane last week turn the ball over a lot, uncharacteristic. If Memphis can do that, we've seen the offense be successful. I think they've got a really good shot to win this game. But I think it's really fascinating, especially Tulane has the kind of physicality up front to give Memphis problems, especially in the run game. And that means Memphis, again, we talk about adjustments, they're going to have to adjust and find other ways to win.
Last thing for you, Jonah. You wrote over the weekend after, I guess it was yesterday, after Hugh Freeze was fired from Auburn, a local high school product, Eric Perry, who was committed to Auburn, the DeSoto Central product, he flipped his commitment from Auburn to Memphis. Usually midseason, we're not talking about a lot of commitments, but what do you make of this news, Memphis going out and flipping an Auburn commit?
Yeah, pretty interesting one. He said, I talked to him last night, he talked, the Hugh Freeze thing was the impetus to switch and to reopen his recruitment. He made the decision, obviously, really quickly to flip to Memphis. If you want to watch exciting mixtapes or highlight reels, go turn on his. He plays quarterback, but he kind of projects as a running back most likely at the next level. Really interesting. Obviously, with commitments, you never know until they sign, especially the amount of commitments we see from people these days and decommitments and all that type of stuff. But that would give Memphis 2 local commitments, which is obviously people are very excited about that. Anytime you have kids from the area playing for the Tigers, shameless plug to my story about Ashley Henderson, women's soccer captain, who's from Memphis and plays for the Tigers as well. So it'll be cool to see with Eric Perry and with those guys if they how it shakes out the rest of the way. But like I said, obviously, anytime you got a running back, RBU, all that stuff, people are going to get excited.
Definitely good news there. And the women's soccer team, I saw your tweet yesterday. They cleaned up on the conference awards, so they're definitely doing their thing over there.
Yeah, number 3 in the country, the only undefeated team in the country. It's about to get the conference tournament starts tonight, and then NCAA tournament will be next week. I mean, you're looking at a team, again, number 3 in the country, could get ranked higher by the end of it. Like a legitimate hope to advance deep in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes with how they've played this season.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun. Well, Jonah, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jonah. Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal.
Getting us all excited about soccer.
How about that? The women's soccer team, they are really, really fun to watch, and so they've been doing their thing. I was shocked because I did not know that they were the only undefeated women's soccer team in the country until for Friday night pregame for the football game. On the pregame show, they had an interview with Brooks Monaghan, the head coach, and they mentioned that in there. So, yeah, they're doing their thing, and I know Jonah mainly doing football, but he's helping out with everything and certainly helping out with the women's soccer coverage. So we appreciate him every single week joining us. We need to get to another break. When we return, we got to talk about the World Series. It wrapped up Saturday night. The Dodgers got the big win over Toronto to win back-to-back World Series. We'll discuss it next on Sports Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing. It's what we do. We're here for you.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the Brr months, and that means even more savings at Family Leisure. Why is this time of the year the best time of the year to shop at Family Leisure? Because Family Leisure has new stuff coming, so they need to make room. Need a cover for your hot tub? How convenient. Family Leisure has them starting at just $249. Need new spa steps or a cover lift? Family Leisure has those as well, starting at just $99. 99. Let's say you don't have a hot tub or you want a new one. Pick yours right now, starting at $24.99. Get your laps in with a swim spa, and prices start at under $15,000. In-stock patio furniture, that's up to 50% off. Plus, if you need special financing, Family Leisure's got you covered. One final thing. Tell the folks at Family Leisure you heard this radio commercial. You get a free gift with a hot tub purchase. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, it's the Dodgers that won the World Series Saturday night with a need extra innings again, and I thought that we were going to see another 18-inning game.
Not 18.
But it was the Dodgers, a 5-4 win in 11 innings over the Blue Jays. This was a game that the Blue Jays had won, and I think you can make the argument the Dodgers were the better team the entire night. It was one swing that gave Toronto 3 runs in the first inning. They kind of lived off those 3 runs most of the night. They tacked on another run in the 6th, did not score outside of those 2 innings. The Dodgers on the other side, they just kind of chipped away all night. 1 run in the 4th, 1 run in the 6th, 1 run in the 8th, 1 run in the 9th. Then they got the winning run in the 11th inning, and it was Miguel Rojas who had the big night. He had the home run in the 9th inning that tied the game, sent it to extra innings. I was telling you this during the break. Was watching it, and Miguel Rojas hits it, and they're talking on the broadcast. That's his first hit in a month. He hadn't been hitting well. He's kind of been in and out of the lineup. After the game, I'm watching. They're celebrating, and they're going around. They're interviewing different guys on the field. And they go to Miguel Rojas. Of course, he's one of the big heroes of the night. And they're talking to him, and he goes, yeah, I don't think, or he goes, I think that's the first home run I've hit off of a righty this entire season.
Absolutely amazing.
And I was like, what? And so I looked it up. It was a second, but still, 2 home runs off of a right-handed pitcher this entire season. Only had 7 home runs in the regular season. That was his first home run in the postseason. So 8 home runs total the entire year. So the unlikely hero for the Dodgers, and it was a lot of unlikely heroes on both sides. I mean, Toronto was getting it from some guys that you didn't expect them to get stuff from. The Dodgers clearly getting it from Miguel Rojas, a couple other guys that stepped up throughout that game, both offensively and defensively. And you got to tip your cap to Yamamoto and what he did the entire postseason's going super deep into games, complete games, and then for him to go out into the bullpen, come out, give them 2 2/3 innings to record the win. Just really remarkable stuff from Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and he picked up the win, and 5-1 in the postseason for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He was really, really good, and look, love him, hate him, this Dodgers team was the best team in baseball this year.
Can I pull a Brit? Can I say my Dodgers? Like he says,
yeah, they're your Dodgers.
Like he says, his Saints and whatnot.
They are.
So I'll pull a Brit. First of all, to add a little juice to your Rojas deal, he actually did that on a full account too. So nerves, nerves. He didn't have any, obviously. And next, I mean, the Dodgers did win this, but like you said, I think the Blue Jays kind of blew it. They had Uncle Mo. The crowd was chanting. I mean, you felt.
No, they had that game. I knew they were going to win that game.
Thank you.
Watching it Saturday night.
I thought they would have too. But Yamamoto, getting back to him, I think that's when you saw the international piece. I think we were talking about it, beginning of the deal. We were talking about Isolo. If you were the coach and you were to go coach in Italy or whatnot, you're not worried about all this history. You don't know about this stuff. That's when Yamamoto says, I don't give a dang who you are. This is what I do. All 5, 6 of him or 7. That guy's tiny. He is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
You can put the burden on him. And we're hearing reports that your boy Screwball,
what about him?
Maybe a Dodger soon. If the money ain't right, if the money ain't right in Detroit, we got
it doesn't sound like it.
I mean, well, first of all, we want him to come to St. Louis first, so I don't want to get a text from Brett.
Cover all your bases there.
Yeah, we want him to come to St. Louis first. But that's the type of move that keeps organizations like that are going that have bottomless payrolls. Man, you find a way to get a Scubo who can't agree on a deal with Detroit. You get him to come that way, and now, you pair him up with Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow. Oh, my God. So
crazy.
Yeah.
But it is insane. I mean, you go back to that. How much did the Toronto have this game? You mentioned it, full count against Miguel Rojas. Yeah. A guy that hasn't had a hit in a month, hasn't hit a home run in forever. Only 7 home runs up until that point. One off of a right-handed pitcher. If you get him out, have him ground out, have him fly out, strike him out, whatever you got to do,
the ball game's yours.
Shohei flew out next at bat.
Yeah. One pitch, too, I believe.
And I think you're right. And then Will Smith struck out.
Speaking of Will Smith, you heard the historic notion about the name Will Smith today? 6 straight World Series won by the name Will Smith.
Is that right?
Yep. The catcher as well as the pitcher of the past 6 years since 2020 has won the World Series.
Interesting. Well, you got to give Will Smith a lot of credit. He was.
Let me see if I can pull it. I just knew you. I did not have it up because I fully expected with your brain to say, "Hey, D, I actually have those teams." Let me get that up for you. But yeah, not the same Will Smith, obviously, but the name
Very
Will Smith.
Common name.
But MLB though.
No, it is crazy.
There's only 2 guys though, too, by the way.
Right, but in terms of it's not like a Landon Schmidt out there. That's
or Schnerschelbarger or
whatever you want to call him in the first segment. There's not Brian Dacus out there. Or Gary Newsom out there.
I got you. Okay.
Multiple teams.
So Dodgers catcher Will Smith, 2020 win. Relief pitcher Will Smith, 2021 with the Braves, 2022 with the Astros, as well as 2023 with the Rangers. Then you come back to 2024. Dodgers catcher Will Smith, the Dodgers obviously, 24 and 25. So there you have it. The name Will Smith, not the same person, and definitely not Miami. Will Smith. Take me to Miami. That guy. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Will Smith. That guy.
Yeah. Wow.
He's an action star.
Action star Will Smith. That guy.
But sometimes he'll act bizarre.
Yeah.
Great reference there.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Look at you.
That was really good stuff. No, but I mean, look, the Dodgers. I know
they earned this one. Though. They either team that won would have earned it. I'll give them.
And that's the thing, we were talking about it before. It looked like the Toronto was going to win this thing. We were in here saying you got to give all the credit in the world to Toronto for what they've done.
They pitched a little better.
They were hitting. Oh man, I mean, and to do that, look, very easy for a team to give up that home run and then immediately give up a double or a triple or a home run to Shohei Ohtani
and not get out of it.
And lose it in regulation. But they were able to get out of it and get to. And look, Trey Savage was the pitcher that gave up that home run. Yeah. Trey Savage has been awesome.
I'm glad you said that because I was watching with Matt Infield and he got me all. I was like, that's the same guy that got tagged by the Yankees, right? He's like, D, calm down. Awesome. That guy's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
That's what I was like, is he?
Really good. A lot of people talked about his outing against Seattle. And if you watch that outing against Seattle, he gives up 3 runs in the first inning. After that, he gets to the 5th or the 6th inning.
That's kind of sad.
And only gives up 2 more hits the rest of the way. So he settled down, was really good for a rookie to do that. I was really impressed. So hats off to both these teams. Congratulations to the Dodgers getting the win and to be able to come back and do that, losing the games at home and to go to Toronto and win back-to-back games to win this series. Really impressive. But you also got to give the Blue Jays credit. Really a shame they didn't win. They did, and those bats were hot the entire time. They played really, really well, just could not get the job done.
Yeah, kudos to them. I know aside from the Mariners, that seemed like the team pretty much. No, a lot of people want the Brewers to win. I will throw the Brewers back in there. But once the Blue Jays got to where they were, a lot of people were pulling for them. So shout out to them.
Absolutely. But it was a fun World Series. It was a great season in Major League Baseball. And
no work stoppage, please.
You can
just got to say it out loud, man. You got to call it. It's too much momentum going. And if you want the younger crowd or whatever to get, to get along with your MLB deal going on right now is not the time to have a work stoppage. You've possibly seen the greatest player in history in Ohtani. You have MVPs all up and down a lineup. Mookie Betts, you got to show up. I wonder did that injury at the beginning of the year have a little bit of his performance, but whatever. You got the Brewers, you got the Blue Jays. You still got the Astros down there. You have the beautiful Cardinal in St. Louis. You got Landon's Mets. So there's a lot of. You got the Yanks. You got the Tower of Powers in New York. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going for MLB. Work stoppage is definitely not needed right now, sir.
Yeah, I'm not. I think, what is it? I think we're guaranteed next season, and then who knows after that. So I don't know. What do we
get a contract?
What do we got here? Sorry, outro
it's time to get to a break.
This is our new outro music?
It is.
Okay.
It's that Landon Barger.
Yeah, he likes trying to.
That's what you come out to in Milan? When they say
this is
it's starting point
This is what I jam to, man.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let's get to
Little
a
Tom
break.
Brady and the Heartbreakers for you.
There you go. Well, we need to get to a break. When we return, we're talking college football, college basketball. David Cobb from CBS Sports. He joins us next.
Cleanliness is next to impossible unless you call High-Low Commercial Services. For 15 years, High-Low's dedicated team has been cleaning offices throughout the Mid-South. High-Low's janitorial services are customized to your business. Clean once, quarterly, or ongoing, and get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. High-Low Commercial Services, the biggest and the best in the Mid-South. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That's MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like the city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit Sissy'sLogCabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
We're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A little bit more volume in the last few minutes. I-40 over here in Chelsea. Traffic volume on the increase. 40 east at Warford, Hollywood, all the way over to White Station. Just that time of the afternoon for it to get busy. And it already is. 240 east from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. Zips Car Wash. That's where I go, and so should you. You can get upgraded shine and protection right now at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out online for a location at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Darian with you. No Brett, he'll be back here in a couple of days, but we got to talk college football. We got to talk college basketball. We do it at this time every Monday afternoon with David Cobb.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is national college football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now from CBS Sports to talk college football and college basketball, and plenty to get into after a busy weekend in college football. College basketball tips off today. It tipped off early this morning at 7 a.m. But, Dave, let's start with some college football. And what would it be if we came in here on a Monday afternoon and we did not have an SEC coach fired the day before? We had it happen again. Hugh Freeze out at Auburn after losing to Kentucky at home. Very ugly scene. A lot of people just stayed to boo him and chant for him to be fired. He ultimately gets fired Sunday afternoon. What did you make of that decision? How good of an opening is this at Auburn, and who do you think is on that short list for him?
So it never got going at Auburn for Hugh Freeze, really, in any capacity. So they more or less had to make this move. And honestly, guys, relative to the other exorbitant buyouts that we've seen in this coaching cycle, $15 million actually looks relatively tame. Yeah, when you put it next to 50 plus for Brian Kelly, 40 plus for James Franklin, it's really doesn't seem that bad. It don't get me wrong, it still is, especially when you previously fired Brian Harsin, and then you're still probably paying a little bit to Gus Malzahn, and the mismanagement there is real. But in this circumstance, I don't think there was any alternative. But then you get into the candidates, and the one name that you keep hearing a lot, it's John Summerall. He's the coach at Tulane, who's from Alabama, who coached at South Alabama previously, and obviously Tulane got smacked around by UTSA the other night. But you can kind of put that result to the side and look at his body of work. He's done a pretty good job there, and so anyway, that's certainly one to watch. I think I said he was at South Alabama. I think it was Troy where he was before, but anyway, he's got ties to the state.
Sure.
So keep an eye on John Summerall, for sure for that Auburn job. But he's a guy that could get in the mix for a number of jobs. So if it's not him, then I think Auburn's probably going to look to sitting Big 12 coach, sitting ACC coach, try to pull somebody with a little bit of a good win-loss record there that's proven it in a power conference here in recent years. So I don't know if that leaves them with a Manny Diaz maybe at Duke. That's a name to watch for not just this Auburn opening, but maybe for a handful of openings.
It feels like we could see some interesting names emerge once we actually get to coaching carousel season, because we've seen a lot of these coaches that have been kind of out there as potential hires. they're going out there and signing extensions. Matt Rule at Nebraska signed an extension last week. We just saw recently Rhett Lashley down at SMU get a big extension to stay in Dallas. Then he goes out there and gets the win over Miami. It feels like maybe the guys in the best position are those guys that still have jobs getting these extensions, and it feels like we could see maybe things get a little weirder than expected this offseason.
Yeah, eventually some of these jobs are going to have to get creative with who they hire, because with so many of these coaches getting raises and extensions to stay where they are, there's just not enough big names to go around for all the big name openings. So, like, I mentioned ACC and Big 12 coaches. What about Jake Dickert at Wake Forest, who has got the Demon Deacons on the cusp of bowl eligibility in his first year when absolutely nothing was expected of them, right? Like, that's a name that could get some run in this cycle. Rhett Lashley has been extended, but what about Jeff Brom at Louisville? Could you coax him away? But again, that's another situation where he's at his alma mater, and so he's going to be inclined to stay there more so than he would if it were just a random ACC job. It's not a random ACC job to him. It's his home school. So that's, an interesting dynamic there. And then you look out to the Big 12, and the one who I think is really interesting to watch right now is Kenny Dillingham. Again, another guy who's at his alma mater, but he's way underpaid relative to the value that he's brought to Arizona State, because that job was in a total just turmoil, chaotic situation, really, really bad situation that he walked into, and he's turned them into a really solid Big 12 program, but he's not really paid like a high-caliber Power 4 coach is in this era. So any of these SEC jobs that end up looking his direction are going to be able to offer him a massive raise. So does he just become the latest coach to leverage that interest for an extension, or does he actually make the jump and leave his alma mater? That's going to be a really, really interesting to watch. And then I'll give you one more. He's actually a Big Ten coach, but Jed Fish. He cut his teeth at Florida. He's done a really nice job at Washington. He did a really nice job at Arizona. He's a great quarterbacks coach. He would fit really nicely at a place like Florida that wants to get back to that offensive sort of identity that the program was known for so long.
Oh, my goodness. David, quick question. With our coach, because I have some people that really want to know, because as you know, first of all, here on Sports Time, we are really optimistic and positive. So let's say that first and foremost. So being optimistic and positive, if Ryan Silverfield goes on to place himself in the college football playoffs, where does his name stand in any of these big job openings?
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to get some interest because there's just so many openings right now. And you're just going to naturally be a part of that carousel if you're a successful G5 coach right now. So Ryan Silverfield, as the leader of a team that, according to some, has the best odds of any G5 team to make the college football playoff, he's going to be part of those conversations, whether that be Oklahoma State or Arkansas or Virginia Tech. I guess I'd be surprised if he got in the mix for the SEC jobs, but never say never. There's absolutely a scenario where Dillingham stays, where Brom stays, where Diaz stays, and all of a sudden Ryan Silverfield is in play for an SEC job. So you can't rule that out. But, at the same time, you really have to look long and hard about whether you're walking into a better situation. If you're Ryan Silverfield and the offers are Oklahoma State and Arkansas, hypothetically, are those better situations than Memphis? Okay, they can probably pay you a little more. Okay, your NIL resources will probably be a little bit better, but what will those NIL resources be relative to the competition in your conference? Because even if it's a bigger bag that you have to distribute with than what you have in Memphis right now, what you have in Memphis is the best in the American. Is what you're going to have at Oklahoma State the best in the Big 12? I don't think so, and I don't even think it's close. I think you're fighting with one hand tied behind your back in that job right now. And the same probably goes for Arkansas. And so, if it's those caliber of jobs and you have what is arguably the best job in the G6, well, you're set up for success at Memphis, and you're not set up for success at some of these other P4 openings right now. And the expectations will be just as high. They're really high at Memphis right now. It's basically like, hey, 10 wins or bust, conference championship game or bust. But you know what? Like, the folks at Arkansas and Oklahoma State, they expect results too. So you're walking into high pressure with less advantages relative to your competition. So, yeah, maybe you can get a raise, but, I think he would and will think long and hard about those things before he just up and leaves Memphis at the first P4 job that comes calling.
Well, David, you're getting the trifecta of all the people here getting to talk to you, ask questions. We all love college football. What can we say? So with this past weekend of college football, we saw a lot of big upsets that I don't think many of us anticipated. One of those being with Miami and their loss in overtime to SMU. Carson Beck has looked like he has really struggled in these past few weeks, but I can't say that I'm entirely surprised. You look at his last year with Georgia, and he had multiple games with 3 interceptions, not taking anything away from a quarterback play that he is, but I could kind of see that this was going to happen at some point. Did you foresee this coming with Carson Beck, and how surprised are you that Miami, who was a surefire number 2 on their way to college football playoffs, do you think that their college football playoff hopes are still alive?
I think they're alive, but I think they're hanging by a thread. It's a situation now where Miami's going to need some help from those other teams around it in the CFP rankings, and the first batch of those rankings comes out tomorrow night, so we'll finally get a sense of how the committee views Miami and also Notre Dame. Because remember, Miami has a head-to-head victory over Notre Dame. Well, everybody wants to put Notre Dame in their projected college football playoff rankings right now. But what about Miami, which beat them head-to-head, right? So I think that's an interesting dynamic that the selection committee has to grapple with. Because Miami, it looked like, at least in the early part of the season, was putting together a really strong resume. Right now, it's that Notre Dame win that's propping it up. So, the Carson Beck situation. So he threw 2 interceptions this past week in their loss to SMU. Really, only one of them was his fault, the interception in overtime that ended the game. The one in the first half was more of a fluke play where the receiver probably should have caught the ball. But I do think there's some legitimate question to whether or not his arm strength has returned to its fullest extent after an off-season elbow surgery that really took a long time to recuperate from. Does he have the velocity on his throws that he did in 2023 at Georgia? Because Carson Beck in 2023 was a great quarterback. The Carson Beck that we've seen since then, not so much. He's got a better supporting cast, believe it or not, around him, I think, at Miami than he did a year ago at Georgia. But now it looks like his arm might be kind of letting him down a little bit after that surgery. So, yeah, I think it's people were quick to re-anoint Carson Beck this season. They were quick after the Notre Dame win and some of their other good wins early on in the season to say, wow, Carson Beck for Heisman. Carson Beck is back. But in reality, his receivers were going up and making great plays on 50-50 balls, and he was kind of benefiting from that in a way that maybe masked some of the issues. And now opposing defenses have caught on a little bit, and we're starting to see Miami pay the price and regress quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the college football playoff rankings. We'll get our first one tomorrow night. Felt like last year with the first year of the expanded playoffs, it kind of felt like every single week they were just kind of throwing teams out there and they didn't really have any rhyme or reason. You think about when it comes to college basketball and the way that the selection committee does it, and they kind of tell you, hey, these are the things we're looking at, and so now everyone's looking at the quads and the RPI and different things over the years. It's kind of evolved into different things. But it felt like last year we didn't really have any guidelines on what the selection committee for the college football playoffs were looking at. I think they've tried to fix some of those things going into this year and kind of have given us a little bit of a template of what they're looking for. But what do you expect tomorrow night, and what do you think some of the keys that this committee is looking at?
Yeah, so strength of schedule, we've been led to believe anyway, is going to be a huge part of the equation, more so than it has been really in the entirety of the college football playoffs existence. And so how does that manifest itself tomorrow night? Particularly fascinated with who's going to be number 1. I think a lot of people just assume that because Ohio State is the reigning national champion and has been ranked number 1 in the AP poll all season long, essentially, since they beat Texas, that, yeah, of course, Ohio State's going to be number 1 in those first CFP rankings tomorrow night. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think they're going to be taking their cues from the AP poll, right? Otherwise, what would be the point of the committee? So that's going to be fascinating to me because I think you could. I don't even think it's an argument. I think Indiana's best win at Oregon is better than Ohio State's best win, which is at home against Texas. And so when you really break down their schedules, you can easily say that the best win for Indiana is better. And for that matter, let's have a conversation about Texas A&M, who's sitting there undefeated, number 3 in the AP poll. Look, they beat Notre Dame, right? So they on the road, no less. A road victory over Notre Dame, okay. That's right up there with beating Oregon on the road. So is there a chance that we could see Texas A&M at number 1 in these college football playoff rankings? Mm-hmm. If you do, I think that's a pretty good sign for the rest of the SEC. So those will be, I mean, honestly, that's low-hanging fruit, but it's the thing I'm most interested in. Is I think everybody assumes who's going to be number 1, but maybe we shouldn't. Maybe that conversation's a little more nuanced than we believe.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun tomorrow night to see it, and I think a lot of people here hoping that, and I think now with Navy losing over the weekend, assuming that Memphis will be the highest-ranked Group of 5 team, and when they put that bracket up there, will be the 12 seed in that bracket, which will be really cool to see. It'll just be, hey, you gotta keep on doing what you're doing, and hopefully take care of business, and ultimately get into that spot come college football playoff time. We're talking to David Cobb. He joins us every Monday from CBS Sports, talk college football and college basketball. College basketball gets started today. It already started 7 a.m. this morning. We had the first game of the season. But David, you published, and it was not just you. Brett was, look, Brett's not here to defend himself. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or anything, but he was kind of trying to throw you under the bus with these coaching rankings. I was telling him, you're just the messenger. You're just the distributor. This was a vote amongst a lot of your colleagues. He took some exception to how high John Shire was on the rankings, but let's start with these rankings when it comes to college basketball. Number 1, Dan Hurley. I don't think anybody's going to argue that, and I'm sure you saw the video of Dan Hurley in mid-season form last week during their exhibition, up 15, and just, I mean, going after his guys, telling them they're soft, letting that team hang around with them. I mean, it was beautiful. But when you and your colleagues voted on these coaches, who were the coaches that had the most maybe different opinions on, and kind of what did David Cobb's list look like compared to the one that you published with all of the votes?
Okay, so I did have Dan Hurley number 1 on my ballot as well. That was, to me, pretty much a no-brainer. He still won 2 national titles in a row. I think he's got a really, really good team again this year. So the ones where I differed a little bit were, okay, so I had Kelvin Sampson 2, which is about where he finished. I had Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey higher because the way I look at it is like, all right, if I were starting a program today, who would I want as my coach? And like, massive respect for everything that Tom Izzo and Mark Few and Bill Self have accomplished over the course of their careers, and Rick Pitino, and I still have them prominently placed on my ballot. But if I were starting a program today, I'd look long and hard at Pat Kelsey as one of my top targets, or Mark Pope. Now, I mean, you could argue that, well, they're just benefiting from these large NIL war chests, and like, okay, but like, you still have to go out there and mold that talent into a coherent team, and that's what they are doing. And so, to me, like, those two really stand out for the jobs, the turnarounds that they did in year 1, especially you look at what Pat Kelsey walked into at Louisville and the way he was able to turn that thing around in year 1 to go, from winning 8 games total to winning 18 games just in the ACC. Really, really impressive stuff. And then, I got Nate Oates as a top 5 coach. I think it's underappreciated what Nate Oates does because he's at Alabama, which does not have the richest basketball history. They've had their moments, but he has taken a very specific style of play, take a lot of threes, play fast, stuck to his guns, turned down overtures from, quote, better jobs, and is staying and building an absolute powerhouse at Alabama. And I think a lot of coaches would have left the shadows of Nick Saban and left the shadows of Bryant-Denny Stadium and protested the fact that they haven't had their $100 million arena built for them, and they would have been out of there by now. He's chosen to stay and build a dynasty where he is. And the fact that he's doing it at a place that you don't consider an elite job historically, I think he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, I think he absolutely does. Looking at today's schedule, a ton of games, but I think the biggest game on the schedule has got to be Florida and Arizona later tonight, a 6 o'clock tip-off. You look at this Florida team after winning the national championship last year, lost some key guys, some leaders of that team last year, but they turn around, they bring some of those pieces back, Alex Condon back, but then they go out there in the transfer portal and bring in a guy like Boogie Flan, a guy like Xavier Lee, who was by far the best player last year on a Princeton team. What do you expect from this Florida team going into the season?
Well, they're gonna be really freaking solid up front again. That front court's gonna be nasty. They're big, they run, they protect the rim, they finish in traffic. Like everything you could ask for from a front line they have. I mean, I think the biggest question is how does Xavier Lee, how does he translate transferring in from Princeton, jumping up from the Ivy League, and we're going to learn tonight, right? Because you're playing against an Arizona team that's got a lot of really physical, good perimeter players who are going to test his athleticism immediately. But hey, look, I mean, you got to give this staff the benefit of the doubt because they went and identified Walter Clayton Jr. from Iona. He came in and was the best guard in America last year. So they've identified Xavier Lee as that next. Look, I mean, Boogie's probably going to be a more productive scorer, but like Xavier Lee's they're gonna expect him to do something similar to what Will Richard and Elijah Martin did, and that's still asking an awful lot. But I would trust that staff. I would trust Todd Golden with the the talent identification because. They know the way they want to play. He fits it to a T. It's just a matter of how he handles the uptick in competition.
Yeah. Last thing for you, David. You put out, or CBS Sports put out y'all's Final Four and national championship winners. Your Final Four: Duke, UConn, Houston, Kentucky. With Duke winning the national championship. Why Duke as your national champion?
Yeah, it's interesting. As I look over my colleagues' predictions. Not a single one of them even has Duke in the Final Four. I'm the only one who has them in the Final Four, and I have them winning it all. So clearly, I'm on an island here. And I think everybody's off of Duke because, well, there's no way they can be as good as last year when they had 3 top 10 picks and Cooper Flagg and Colin Knippel and Kamal Malawak, and they had the best 10-palm net rating of all time and yada, yada, yada. Well, the thing is, one, there's not going to be any single dominant team in college basketball this year. So that's reflected in our picks. I mean, we all pick a different national champion here, which I think is really interesting. And you just look at this Duke team and you watch Cam Boozer play in these exhibition games. And guys, I'm not being hyperbolic here when I say that I think he's as good as Cooper Flagg. I legitimately believe that. Cam Boozer is as good as Cooper Flagg. You heard it here first. Wow. And look, he went to Tennessee and put up something like 23 and 23 in an exhibition game. He was insanely productive against UCF as well. He's big, he's physical, he can score in a variety of ways, he's versatile defensively. I don't know, really, probably the biggest difference is, he's not going to get out on the perimeter on defense and just hound guards, maybe like a Cooper Flagg can. But I think he's more physical and physically ready for college basketball than Cooper Flagg was. And I think his offensive bag is pretty comparable. Maybe he's just not as fluid of an athlete, but like I think he's a winner, and I think he's going to be that guy for Duke. And then look, there's a lot of guys in that who are now sophomores who didn't really get a chance to shine last year because it was about Flagg, it was about Colin Knippel, it was about Kamal Malawak. But you look at guys like Darian Harris. There's a handful. Isaiah Foster, Isaiah Evans, Caleb Foster. Who are going to pop, who really kind of had to take a back seat last season. So Duke's got all the ingredients. They're long, they're rangy. They have a ton of size across the board. I think that's going to make them really good defensively. And then, I'm a believer in John Shire. Maybe Brett isn't. Maybe I need to text stats and pick a fight with him or something. Yeah. But I think Shire's a good coach. I think he proved that last season. I think Duke's the team to win it all. But the thing about this season that's so fun is it's wide open. It's totally up for grabs, and you can pick one of about 9 or 10 teams to win it all and be rational in that pick.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think as much as I love that Duke team last year and those freshmen on that Duke team last year, I think in today's age of college basketball, you maybe would prefer a veteran team that has a lot of older pieces, and then you throw in those electric freshmen or that one electric freshman onto that team. And if Dame Sarr can maybe figure it out over here, that's a guy that played at the professional level, played EuroLeague last year with Barcelona. So that could be a big-time freshman piece. So, yeah, I'm with you. I have high expectations for this Duke team. But it's going to be a fun season, and it's going to be a fun week watching all these basketball games. David, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Just as good.
David Cobb. How about that?
Just as good.
Last week,
oh my goodness,
Keith Smith joined us and said he thinks that by the time we get to the draft, Cameron Boozer could be a better prospect than Cooper Flagg.
I mean, just the thought of it, man. Ooh,
which is crazy because that would mean we have had if Boozer gets to the point where he is just as good, if not a better prospect than Cooper Flagg, he would be a generational prospect because that's what we called Cooper Flagg last year.
Easily.
So that means in the last 5 drafts, whatever it's been, you would have had three quote unquote generation. No, not Zion. With I guess you can go even further back.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I was talking about with Wembanyama.
Okay, with Wemby. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you had the Wemby draft. You had the draft that was awful with Sarr and Risha Shea. Then you had Coop, and then you could have Boozer. If Boozer's even the number 1 pick, I mean, you got DeBanza, who's going to play later tonight, and
my God, I'm so glad.
Patterson, who's over at Kansas. I mean,
I saw that young man play the other day.
He's good.
AJ looks.
Yeah, AJ DeBanza. He's a great player.
He looks like a more up to date, a more current Kevin Garnett.
No, he's legit.
Like that guy was.
He's really good. I mean, we could have a draft where you're looking like 1 through 15 are all going to be guys that could be big time players.
That's how drafts used to be. It used to be if you were the Grizzlies and you got the 7th pick, you probably got a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
You know, you probably had Steph Curry sitting there waiting on you, and you draft Johnny. Oh crap! What was it? My guy from that played in Minnesota, Syracuse, Johnny Flynn.
Yeah,
you draft Johnny Flynn instead of Steph Curry.
Well, we'll see.
Drafts used to be that deep, guys.
That's why everybody wants the Suns pick and get 2 picks in the lottery because it looks like it could be a really, really good draft. But we are late for a break. We need to grab it. When we return, we got to whip around the SEC. It'll be time for our Sissy's Log Cabin. Look back at the weekend in the SEC.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, there's some things about the Rendezvous I want to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to-go orders. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. Brett, we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the Burr months, and that means even more savings at Family Leisure. Why is this time of the year the best time of the year to shop at Family Leisure? Because Family Leisure has new stuff coming, so they need to make room. Need a cover for your hot tub? How convenient. Family Leisure has them starting at just $249. Need new spa steps or a cover lift? Family Leisure has those as well, starting at just $99. Let's say you don't have a hot tub or you want a new one. Pick yours right now, starting at $24.99. Get your laps in with a swim spa, and prices start at under $15,000. In-stock patio furniture, that's up to 50% off. Plus, if you need special financing, Family Leisure's got you covered. One final thing. Tell the folks at Family Leisure you heard this radio commercial. You get a free gift with a hot tub purchase. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I don't know who they is, but they're right. Start your day with a fast, fresh breakfast at Sunrise on Jefferson or Sunrise East on Poplar, and the rest of your day will sail by. You'll be full of delicious Sunrise, so no challenge is too daunting. Once you've had one of Sunrise's signature house-made biscuits and a couple of eggs cooked to perfection, you're a brand new person. People will be able to tell. They'll think that person went to Sunrise for breakfast. I envy them. Oh, lunch is pretty important, and you can get that at Sunrise, too.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We're trying to build with a little bit more volume, not only through the Midtown area on 240 South and South Parkway, but watching it increase over here on 240 East as you come up past Poplar and Walnut Grove. Now going outbound on I-40 here, going eastbound at Germantown Parkway, already on the increase as that traffic cranks up headed out towards Fayette County. Hey, Zips Car Wash, that's where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out online at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time for a look back at the weekend in the SEC. Brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies with 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood. Let's go inside the SEC with Bryant and Brett.
Chad Kelly in the gun formation. 3rd and inches for Ole Miss.
Carlton will kick it. It is on the way, and it is up.
Buck Bellew looking at it, going to pitch it to Herschel Walker, try to get him outside. He's going to get 5.
The snap is high. Kelly grabs it, wants to throw, fires it up in the air. Treadwell can't get it.
It is good! Oh, my!
And a deflection is caught! Deflection is caught! And down the sidelines is Adebayo. He's to the end zone. He's in there. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
He's got 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He needs a block. There goes Herschel. There goes Herschel.
And you can wrap this one in maroon and white, my friends.
Arkansas is headed to Atlanta. The national champion is clad in big orange.
Well, it started Saturday morning with a top 25 matchup. Number 9 Vanderbilt on the road against number 20 Texas, and it was all Texas in the first quarter. They used a 17-point first quarter to get the win, a 3-point win, 34-31. Darian, do you know what the spread was for this game going into first kick?
But Vandy was favored, right?
They were not.
They were not? I thought Vandy was favored.
Texas was favored. 3.5-point favorite. So after a 17-point first quarter, Vanderbilt still covered that game on Saturday against Texas. It was a really impressive game from them, at least how they responded. 10 points in the second quarter for Vanderbilt, and then 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to make it a 3-point game. Not able to recover an onside kick, and Texas able to win. Arch Manning, maybe his best game so far with the Longhorns this year, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Longhorns ran for 100 yards and a touchdown. And Diego Pavio on the other side, he was 27 for 38, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, added 43 yards and a rushing touchdown on the ground. Eli Stowers, he led the team in receiving with 146 yards, 2 touchdowns on 7 catches. When you look at the rush game, Vanderbilt really couldn't get much going. I mentioned Diego Pavio with 43 yards on the ground. He led the team in rushing. Only 58 yards total for the Vanderbilt rushing attack. On the other side, Texas ran for 100 yards. They get the win, and you look at what's down the road for both these teams. Vanderbilt on Saturday, 3 o'clock on SEC Network against Auburn. Texas, they have the week off. What stood out to you in this game between Texas and Vanderbilt?
Texas keeping playoff hopes alive, right?
They are.
I mean, you got to, because you thought, as far as especially the competition that they were playing, people were like, this team is going to go nowhere fast. So one thing you're really excited about, especially with Manning at the helm, is that they beat somebody, somebody. Beating who they play, UTEP or some those weaker teams.
San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston.
That's the one I was thinking about. That's the game.
That was the one they beat up on him. 55.
Yeah, he's standing all over the guy and whatnot. It's like, what are you doing, guy? So at least they beat a team with a pulse. You knew Vanderbilt was going to come in there, and shout out to his mom. We saw Diego's mom quite a few times. You knew he was going to bring his mom as well as a pulse to that game, and they did. So shout out to the entire Texas organization for putting together a good win against someone who could fight back.
Yeah, I'm curious for Texas, where will they be tomorrow night in the college football playoff rankings? We talked to David Cobb. He said that strength of schedule. They're 13 in the AP poll right now, but if you're talking about strength of schedule, now look, you look at San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston, those are gimmies. But you look at the two losses at Florida is not gonna get you a ton. It is a road game, and then your other loss at Ohio State. So you look at these losses, at least one of them is against the number one team in the country right now on the road, and you only lost by 7. So curious to see where they have them tomorrow night in those rankings. The next game,
make a good case for them.
Well, I don't know if I want to make a good case for them.
You make a good case for them.
I'm just curious where they're going to be. Number 5, Georgia. They were on the road against Florida. Florida coming off of the coaching firing. A lot of people curious to see what they would do, and they looked good early. They ultimately lose the game. Georgia wins it 24-20, a strong start for Florida. They led at the end of the first quarter 10-7. This game was tied at half. It's tied at the end of the third quarter. Ultimately, Georgia able to get the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter. Gunnar Stockton, he went for 223, 2 touchdowns, and interception. DJ Lagway, he had 166 yards and a touchdown. Both teams had a receiver go for over 100 yards receiving. Zachariah Branch for Georgia, 112 yards on 10 receptions. Eugene Wilson III, 121 yards and a touchdown on 9 receptions. Georgia's Eugene Allen, he led both teams with 13 tackles on the defensive side of the ball. Georgia, they ran for 138 yards and 1 touchdown. Only 1 turnover in this game between the two teams. But you look at Florida on third downs, 2 for 11 on third down, so not able to convert. Coming down the road for Georgia, 11 a.m. on ESPN at Mississippi State. For Texas, 6:30 p.m. on SEC Network at Kentucky. It was a close one, but Georgia, that would have been a loss that would have hurt on the road. And for Florida, just add another loss to the loss column.
Yeah, unfortunately, world's largest cocktail party. You got to say that because it's a party. Right. You pretty much knew the outcome. Shout out to Georgia for just simply handling their business. But Lagway stood out just a little bit. I had a buddy of mine text me, and I guess he's not the biggest college football fan, so he brought up he's like, who is this quarterback for Florida? Who is this quarterback for Florida? And I referred him back to last year. Say he had a much better year last year, so on and so forth. So I guess decent outing for Florida. They didn't get the 48-5 or 48-3 put on their head like they could have after a coach's firing. But I say solid outing. Keep your head up and handle it, Florida. That's all you can do right now.
I mean, you usually see that bump after a head coach is out for whatever reason. Those guys rally.
It's one of the two.
And you saw that, I think, for Georgia in this one. The next game, Mississippi State on the road against Arkansas State gets the 38-35 win over the Razorbacks. This season just continues to go from bad to worse for Arkansas. And for Mississippi State, you continue to see them fight. That was their first win in SEC play, but it improves them to 5-4 on the season. And really impressive from the quarterback position. Blake Shapen, who has been massive for Mississippi State, he goes down with an injury. Freshman Kamario Taylor steps in, leads 2 touchdown drives, had a passing touchdown, had a rushing touchdown, led the team in rushing with 55 yards on 6 carries, went 2 for 5, passing for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. Blake Shapen, he returned and ended up having the game-winning touchdown. He was 16 for 28, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Anthony Evans III, he had 111 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Brennan Thompson also had over 100 yards receiving for Mississippi State. On the other side, Taylon Green, 194 yards, 1 touchdown, 19 for 31 passing. In the run attack, this is one of those weird games Brett always talks about. If you win the rushing battle, you usually win the game. This was one that it didn't work out that way. That's because Arkansas finished with 239 rushing yards off of 116 rushing yards and 1 touchdown from Mike Washington Jr. On the other side, Mississippi State only 106 yards. They did have 2 rushing touchdowns, but when you look at this one, it came down to the penalties. 18 penalties for 193 yards for Arkansas, only 4 penalties for 30 yards for Mississippi State. There was some controversy in this game involving the officials. Arkansas AD was chasing down one of the officials after the game, but Mississippi State, they get their first win in SEC play.
I want to do this. That is a hand clap, people. Shout out to Jeff Levy and his team. These guys are 1 win away from being bowl eligible, and I'm sure that a lot of us, because I can't think of it verbatim, but a lot of us buried this team at the beginning of the year. Not only with just holistically looking at them, looking at forecasting them going forward, looking at their schedule, predicting where they would be. I don't think anybody had this on their bingo card, y'all. How about you, Mr. Lander? You?
Not on mine.
Nobody had this. So shout out to Mississippi State, who I guess was the doormat of the SEC. And it started with a huge win early in the season, and we were like, is this a something? It's definitely a something. I mean, they were down 28-21 going into the fourth quarter. They outscored Arkansas 17-7. That shows that grit, that fervor that you're looking for. So, Mr. Levy, 1 more win, and the bullies are in.
That'd be a huge story if Mississippi State can get bowl eligible. It would be a huge story. We got to roll through these last couple games. We're running out of time. South Carolina and Ole Miss. Ole Miss gets the win 30-14, and this was a game that came down to the rushing attack. Ole Miss, 258 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. It came 167 yards and a rushing touchdown from Kawan Lacey, who led all rushers in this game. On the other side, South Carolina really struggled running the ball. 50 yards on 1 touchdown on 32 total carries. Lenore Sellers, 180 yards, 1 touchdown. Did have 2 interceptions. On the other side, Trinidad Chambliss, 159 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Neither team really had any success on third downs. These 2 teams combined to go 4 for 24 on third downs, but this came down to Ole Miss had it going in the run game, and turnovers for South Carolina, 3-2. So really came down to those 2 categories.
I'll pull a Brett Stats Norsworthy and help you keep this segment going. Never in question. Next.
No, yeah, I don't think it was. It was all Ole Miss in that one. One game that was in doubt for both sides, Oklahoma and Tennessee. Oklahoma gets the 33-27 win on the road against the Vols. It was the dark out game in Neyland for that one, but Oklahoma comes out of that one with the win. And this one, again, another game that came down to the run game. Oklahoma, 192 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Tennessee, only 63 yards running. John Mateer had 159 yards passing, but it was the big game from Joey Aguiar, 393 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Did have 2 interceptions in this one, and a lot of this came down to the turnovers. You look defensively, I thought both teams made some big-time plays defensively, but you go into this game, and it's another game where Tennessee gives up over 30 points to the opponent. The defense has struggled giving up touchdowns, and you look at this one, those 3 turnovers for Tennessee, very costly, and giving up nearly 200 yards rushing was huge for that Oklahoma offense.
Down 16-10 at the half. If I'm hyper, I showed them all of my old highlights to say, you better not let this team win. Not this team. That team should not have come in there and beat Tennessee. Also, Peyton Manning was in the stands as well. Looked a little anxious a little bit. But other than that, not too worried about the loss. I think Tennessee should have pulled it out. But it just seemed like Oklahoma wanted that victory. Just a smidgen more than that. But if I'm hyper, no, guys, you don't let me lose this game. I was the man there.
Last game, and I don't think we'll have much to say on this one.
You're fired.
Kentucky gets the win 10-3 over Auburn. This is how the first quarter went. Punt, into first quarter.
I think if you put a beat behind it, you can make a TikTok video.
I mean, you certainly could. Yeah. I mean, this was an ugly game. Cutter Boley for Kentucky had 161 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. On the other side, Ashton Daniels, 108 yards, 1 interception. Kentucky ran for 79 yards. Auburn ran for 118. Just an ugly game all around. It was ultimately Kentucky that was able to score in that third quarter. Their first drive, a 10-play, 75-yard drive to get the touchdown, and it ultimately led to Hugh Freeze being fired. And a lot of people staying around just to boo and call for Hugh Freeze to be fired. That gets done yesterday, and we'll see where Auburn goes from here. Just a really ugly game.
Got one quick SEC note. I'm not sure if we knew this, but it says Alabama has suspended Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. indefinitely after an arrest. So I want to slide that in during this SEC segment.
That is definitely something to keep an eye on. But that is your look back at the weekend in the SEC.
Boo.
It's brought to you every single
They stayed
week.
around to do that.
No, they did. They absolutely. You saw a lot of guys in the student section just staying around to call for the firing. But it's brought to you every single week by our friends over at Sissy's Log Cabin. Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band t-shirt, the one you wore everywhere until you lost it, now you're on eBay, and there it is. The things you love have a way of finding their way back to you, especially on eBay. From rare collectibles and vintage cars to designer fashion, it's all there. Shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, so I want to do some housekeeping before we get to Big Number of the Day. I kind of failed my job, I'll be completely honest.
You're human. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, I'm very, believe me, I'm very human. But I know we like to set up kind of the next games in the SEC during our Sissy's Log Cabin look back at the weekend in the SEC. And I failed to do that because we were running a little short on time. So I would like to do that now. So I'll just set up real quickly the slate we have in the SEC this weekend. 11 a.m. on ESPN, number 5 Georgia at Mississippi State. Noon on SEC Network Plus, the Citadel at number 7 Ole Miss. At 2:30 on ABC, number 3 Texas A&M at number 19 Missouri. At 3 o'clock on SEC Network, Auburn at number 15 Vanderbilt. 6:30 on SEC Network, Florida at Kentucky. And then 6:30 on ABC, LSU at number 4 Alabama. So a lot of teams off this week as we're getting close to the end of the regular season. All right, big number for me. I have a lot, and they all revolve around the World Series coming to an end over the weekend. So I'll just start and roll through these. My first big number is the number 1. I think I have a couple of number 1s in here, so I'll just roll through the ones that we have. Actually, 1 can be all my big numbers, and I can just roll through this because it was a lot of firsts in the World Series over the weekend. Before 2025, no team had ever won a Game 6 or a Game 7 of a World Series on the road by turning a game-ending double play with the tying run in scoring position. The Dodgers won both Game 6 and Game 7 on the road with a double play this year.
You are
so
very
that was
right. And
crazy.
I think 6 was a 7-3, right? 7-5-3 double play. I'll figure it out.
Maybe.
But yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, because I know it had something to do with Hernandez. Hernandez
it was 7, maybe 7-5.
7-5-3. I thought it was 7-5-3. Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
But kudos, go ahead.
Definitely kudos to them for that. The Dodgers are the first team. So they're the first team ever to trail in the 9th inning of a World Series Game 7 on the road and come back and win. They did that Saturday night.
Shout out to them for winning only by 1 run. I made a bet that kept it under 9.5 with the 9th inning, and my meteorologist was rooting against me.
I hate that. Will Smith is the first player ever to homer in extra innings of a World Series Game 7, which is kind of hard to believe, but that is a wild number. Then my final big number, Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the first pitcher ever to win 3 games on the road in a single World Series. He's also the first to win Games 6 and 7 of a World Series on the road. How about that?
Wow,
he was phenomenal this postseason.
I'll give you another first. All right, come on. It was not Shohei's first World Series loss because now he's 2-0 in the big show dance. Really World Series. So I'll keep it in basically in the same vein. My big number of the day will be 9, sir, because the Dodgers won their 9th World Series, breaking the tie with I don't think they're aforementioned. I don't think we've mentioned the San Francisco Giants all day. They were tied with the San Francisco Giants at 8. They are now tied with the Boston Red Sox and the Oakland A's, and we already know who number 1 and number 2 is. The New York Yankees with 27 and the St. Louis Cardinals with 11. But that number 9 also plays well with the FCS. The FCS leader in the Big Sky, Montana, 9-0 on a 9-game winning streak.
Whoa. I didn't know.
I do it. That was all for you.
In there.
That was all for you, dog. Number 9. The number 9 is the big number.
I love some FCS talk. Whenever you want to bring FCS to the table, I am definitely open to it. But we need to wrap up this second hour and get to another break. When we return, we talked a ton about the Grizzlies and Ja Morant. Yeah, it's another new one from Landon. But we talked a lot
about. What do you mean? These have always been here.
No, that's right. Yeah, no.
Your agents gonna call you.
We're just doing.
That's fine.
The same old thing. Well, we talked a lot about Ja and the Grizzlies in the first segment. Now, the beat writer for the Grizzlies over at the Commercial Appeal, DeMichael Cole, he'll join us and he will explain everything that has happened over the weekend. Maybe give us some answers to our questions. DeMichael Cole, he joins us next on Sports Time.
breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations. Fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the Burr months, and that means even more savings at Family Leisure. Why is this time of the year the best time of the year to shop at Family Leisure? Because Family Leisure has new stuff coming, so they need to make room. Need a cover for your hot tub? How convenient. Family Leisure has them starting at just $249. Need new spa steps or a cover lift? Family Leisure has those as well, starting at just $99. Let's say you don't have a hot tub or you want a new one. Pick yours right now, starting at $24.99. Get your laps in with a swim spa, and prices start at under $15,000. In-stock patio furniture, that's up to 50% off. Plus, if you need special financing, Family Leisure's got you covered. One final thing. Tell the folks at Family Leisure you heard this radio commercial. You get a free gift with a hot tub purchase. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They were dodging some debris a few minutes ago on 240 eastbound in Getwell. It's already heavy in that area in both directions on 240 east and west from Getwell, especially trying to get down to 385 as you get on to Bill Morris Parkway. It's starting to get a little bit busier right on schedule, headed on out towards Collierville. Zips Car Wash, that's where I go, and you get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out online for a location, zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant, Darian, Landon with you as we start our third and final hour on this Monday afternoon. If you're just tuning in, Brett, he's out for the next couple days, taking some much-needed time off. But right now, we got to talk Grizzlies, and we do it every single Monday afternoon during the season with DeMichael Cole. DeMichael Cole joins us now, the beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. DeMichael, thanks so much for joining us. Obviously, a lot to talk about, but the big thing we got to discuss is what happened last Friday with Ja Morant. I want to play the video that has been circulating real quick, and then plenty of questions I know both Darian and I have about what has happened over the last couple of days. So let's listen to this video real quick.
What went wrong to you today?
Go ask the coaching staff.
Do you feel like, there was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay. You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff. Should I play more or not?
What could have been done different, get a different outcome, other than asking the coaching staff?
According to them, probably don't play me, honestly. That's what basically the message was after, so it's cool.
The coaching staff message was it?
It's cool, bro. We good?
You didn't have anything physically wrong in terms of illness or anything?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm
fine. Okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
So I'm pretty sure everybody has seen and heard that video probably more than a couple times to this point. But DeMichael, let's, I guess, start earlier in the night, because I want you to kind of walk us through everything that happened at FedEx Forum Friday night. A lot of people, after all of this came out, were showing videos, posting clips from the game, especially in the second half, where it very clearly looked like Ja Morant was not engaged. He was just kind of, a couple people described he was just out there kind of watching the game while being on the court. Did you notice that during the second half, or was this something that kind of, as the night went on after the game, that it kind of hit you, or did you see, hey, something's up here between Ja Morant and everybody else?
Oh, no doubt about it. I don't know how you couldn't have noticed it. You just, even if you, there's so many parts, like you just said, you could pick from, and there's the fact that he had 8 points at halftime. He finished the game with 8 points. Ja Morant didn't score the entire second half. The most puzzling one to me was, I think he checked back into the game in the fourth quarter. It's roughly 5.5 minutes or so left, and it was still a winnable game. I think they were down 10, but, it's 5 minutes. That's plenty of time to overcome a 10-point deficit. And Ja didn't even shoot in that stretch, let alone, lead a comeback or anything. I think he had just one assist in that stretch. So we saw pretty much him, giving the ball to Cam Spencer and running to the corner. Basically saying, Cam, you run the show. So, yeah, there were so many signs, guys, that were there. And then there was things, I wrote about this as well. There was a moment where he was kind of distanced from the huddle. And at one point, Jock Landale, kind of motioned for Ja, hey, man, come over here. So clearly, the team was noticing. The team was, noticing it. But yeah, it was something we noticed during the game. And then, of course, like you just pointed out, what you just showed us after the game. And the way I described it is that was a very pointed and intentional message that he wanted to convey to the media. When I walked in there, Ja was pretty much the only player that was ready to talk that early, and it was very early. He was ready to talk before Tomas Isolo, which is very rare for players. Ja still gets ready pretty fast, but that was still kind of okay, this is noticeably faster than normal. But yeah, so he even asked before we walked over there. He said, I'm ready. Basically, letting the media know, hey, come over here, let's talk. And he said what he said. I don't think it was him being snarky with the media or anything because he didn't have a good game. It was him wanting to get that exact message of what was said, out there.
What can you tell us? I know you've done a lot of reporting on this, but what can you tell us about what happened obviously something happened between him and the coaching staff. What can you tell us about kind of what transpired to get us to that post-game interview Friday night?
Yeah, most of the context that I've gotten, guys, has been, somewhat probably what you've heard is just, there was a disconnect, between him and, the coaching staff, particularly Tomas Isolo, after the game, Wolf said, I believe it started during the game, but, after the game, there was, the coaching staff challenging, Ja Morant, and, it went from there. But my thing about this whole challenging Ja Morant thing is it's deeper than what we're hearing, because Taylor Jenkins challenged Ja Morant. Believe it or not, I don't know what people think about that relationship, but when I talk to players, during the time, and when you talk to Taylor Jenkins, even if you go back to his last camp when we were in Nashville a little more than a year ago, all he talked about was having uncomfortable conversations with Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, and, on a whole nother level, Jaren Jackson Jr. too, but particularly Desmond Bane and Ja Morant as a backcourt, having uncomfortable conversations with them and challenging them on a whole nother level. So that was there with that relationship. And, so I think there's more to it, but of course there's the part about the substitution patterns. I've heard that. That is not something that kind of popped up out of the blue. We've heard about, that, and if you watch the games, they're subbing guys in and out. At the 9-minute mark of the first quarter, you just don't see any other NBA team doing that. So it's unique, and it presents questions. I've also just got the sense that, it's hard for players to get a rhythm, when that's happening. And I think, that's part of the case here with y'all.
So you mentioned the substitution patterns, and I've seen a lot of people point that out, but I also saw a lot of people point that out with Taylor Jenkins when he was the head coach. What do you think kind of comes down to that? Do you think this is something, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today about this, do you think this is something that maybe Tomas Isolo was more involved than we thought with the substitution patterns when he was an assistant? Do you think this is something that's coming up from or coming down from the front office or someone up top of these are the sub patterns we want to see? Because it feels like there's some sort of connection between the way Taylor Jenkins was handling it and the way we're seeing Tomas Isolo early this season handle it.
Yeah, with Taylor, it was kind of his background in a way, because, he was an assistant under Mike Budenholzer, who, was known for doing this exact thing. If you go look at, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and those guys' minutes, during those runs in the regular season, none of those guys were in the top 50 in minutes played. Right. It's like every time you look at the minutes per game, stat in 2002, 2001, in that era, you'd see, the Grizzlies and Bucks top players start, their names will start popping up when you get into the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the reasoning behind Taylor Jenkins to a certain degree. But also, with Isolo, I feel like, to answer your question, it's more coincident. Maybe there is, I'm sure there is, a part of it that the front office is communicating as a message as well. But Isolo said from the beginning that he wants to emphasize speed and intensity. And I get the sense that speed and intensity is so important for what they want to do that he's willing to, hey, I'd rather have guys out there in what Taylor Jenkins used to call short bursts.
Yeah,
3 to 4. Yeah, 3, because he never wants it to. I mean, I'm sitting right there at games, and it's after made shots, after missed shots, he's constantly yelling, "Go, go, go! Faster, faster, faster!" It's a big part of their identity that they want to have on the offensive end.
DeMichael, speaking of short bursts and really wanting to move fast, it has me leaning to ask you a question about G.G. Jackson, and I'll ask you that secondly. But the more I listen to you and Brian Dakis speak, it makes me believe that there's a silent movement from the front office about load management. That's pretty much what it sounds like from a fan standpoint of view, just listening to you two. But my first question is, you use the term intentional from a standpoint of how Ja was playing. And we heard from a podcast earlier today from Draymond Green. Not sure if you got your ears and eyes on that. He said that during the game, he and Steph talked about Ja's play, not the post game, but just his play. And he said there seemed to be a silent protest going on from Ja. So my question is the it that the elephant is in the room from the coach's standpoint. Do you know exactly what was said? Because I haven't seen, I guess where Ja says that the coaching staff basically said, maybe I should, maybe they didn't want to play me. I don't know, or I haven't seen nor heard exactly, who said that or where he got that from. So what message did you hear from the coaching staff that would lead him to believe that about the spiel, quote unquote, that was had before anybody else entered the locker room?
Yeah, so we didn't talk to Isla directly after the game because his availability kind of coincided with Morant was talking, and then the team left the very next morning to fly to Toronto. So I haven't had a lot of interaction with them since I didn't go to Toronto, at least from that standpoint. But yeah, everything that I've heard has pretty much been kind of the sense that what we've been talking about, like Ja was challenged, so to speak, and he didn't respond well to that.
DeMichael, a two-part question here, and then we can kind of move on from this Ja Morant thing, even though it's very important. But you have talked about he was challenged, and a lot of what I've heard about Tomas Islo, even before all of this, is that he's a very direct, and if he's got something to say, he's going to say it to players or anybody else. Do you think that Ja can accept that type of coaching? And we'll see Ja back, presumably tonight against Detroit. I know you're going to talk with Coach Islo here in a little bit. What do you think we see? Because Islo said either before or after the game against Toronto that both sides he's ready to move on. Ja Morant's ready to move on. They're ready to move forward from this. What do you think we see from Ja Morant tonight and as we progress the next week or so?
Well, I think when things like this happen, the message that has to be communicated to Ja, not even from the coaching staff, but from the other, whether it's people around him, whether it's his teammates, is even when you have a disconnect with the coaches in a situation like that, you still got the city of Memphis watching you play basketball. You still got your teammates who you've been sweating it out with all through training camp. And, you still got us at the end of the day, to play for. So you're not just proving a point or sending a message to the coaching staff who you're doing that. You're letting down, that little kid who just went to his first ever Grizzlies game. And he's like, oh, it's the Grizzlies Lakers, it's a big game, Ja Morant versus Luka, and that's what he got. So I'm sure to this point, maybe the people have gotten through to him that part of it. And if you get that part of it, Ja, we know what he wants to be in this Memphis community. And I don't think when he sent that message or when he did what he did, none of the intent was to kind of pack it in on fans or his teammates and things like that. So I think even if because the reports are starting to come out that, like you said, the Grizzlies are ready to get past this as an organization on Ja's side, on Islo's side, etc. But even if that isn't fully the case, I still think you get somewhat a motivated version of Ja being, because you're going to have these fans here who are ready to see you play, and they're still going to cheer for you, and you're going to have your teammates there as well.
DeMichael, looking at it from the team standpoint, getting a little bit away from the Ja situation, you retweeted Joe Mullinex's post, and one of the first bullet points on there is Memphis flops in Toronto in the wake of Ja Morant's suspension. And you talked about short and quick bursts. So I want to get back to team play. Is there a reason why one Mr. G.G. Jackson wasn't a part of those short, quick bursts on yesterday?
Man, I don't know. And it's because I've advocated for it. And we're going to talk about it here. He's going on a G League assignment now, so I'm sure we're going to see some things be emphasized. And I think he's going to return back with the Grizzlies after that G League assignment. But man, it's puzzling to me. And I say I don't know because I'm looking at the situation and I see a situation where there's a route for him to take the floor. We just saw a team score 104 points yesterday, and didn't really look like, it didn't really look like they had many creators out there, so to speak. And G.G. Jackson can do that. He can be that. But, I think we'll start to see that situation. We'll get more answers here in the coming days, being that now he's going down on a G League assignment. And, you're going to start to have a couple guys get back here soon, too.
And one quick thing before I turn it back over today, because we've had 2 weeks of the Cedric Howard experience. Give me one word to define what you've seen over this first 2 weeks.
One word: confirming.
Yep,
confirming, man. It's what I thought, but now it's getting to the point of what we know.
Yeah.
It's just confirmation.
Yeah, he has been really fun to watch. You mentioned that G League assignment. The other notable name being assigned to the G League for practice today is Zach Edey. I saw some videos of him getting some work in on the court in Toronto last night. How close do you think we are to him returning to the court?
Oh yeah, we're definitely getting close with Zach Edey. The thing is, when they put out the timeline, I don't know if people took it this way, but like when they put it out there, the ramp up was slowly starting at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a situation where he's going to have to do much more rehab. So we've already seen kind of the Grizzlies slowly starting to ramp him up. Whether it be in the play groups and things like that. So, I think it won't be much longer before we see Zach Edey. We're definitely going to get him sometime here in November.
Yeah, no, it feels like we are very, very close to that, and that will certainly bring a boost. Talking about big men, last week when we talked to you, the Grizzlies had just signed Charles Bassey to a 10-day. We still haven't seen him yet. What do you think the reasoning is that we haven't seen him just for a couple minutes here or there? They've certainly had opportunities to get him some run. What do you think we're seeing here with Bassey?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the last thing we just talked about. With Zach Edey being close, there is, to me, the sense that, he's not as needed, in this situation. So I think when you went out and got Charles Bassey, right, you knew there was an emphasis on this team needing to be a better rebounding team, needing more, rim protection and things like that. And it's just so happened that the teams that the Grizzlies have played up to this point, for the most part, are not the most physically gifted team when it comes from rebounding and scoring in the paint and things like that. But it's about to change. That's why these next couple games, you're talking about Detroit coming in here. Check this out, guys. Detroit has 4 guys, averaging over 6 rebounds per game. You know how many Memphis has? Memphis has 1.
Ooh. They also got a guy that got 33 rebounds the other day in Jalen Duren.
33 points. 33 points and 10. Yeah, 33 points, I think 10 boards.
It's crazy.
But yeah, definitely, a much more, physical team. Detroit's one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA, and they do it not just with the bigs, but with the wings. And then after that, you're talking about a Houston Rockets team. Alperen Sengun, we'll see, Steven Adams potentially is playing, but, even beyond that, Clint Capella, Kevin Durant, you're about to see some teams that really emphasize hitting the glass hard. And there's the physicality standpoint of it, too. So about to learn a lot about this team. And quite frankly, if Charles Bassey doesn't play in this game against this type of rebounding team, then we know when that 10-day expires in a couple of days, that'll be it.
Yeah, no, it feels like tonight will be a big one to see kind of where they're at with him. And you talk about it, I mean, the level of competition is about to take a jump up over these next handful of games. I mean, you go Detroit, Houston, Dallas, OKC, at New York. You got Cleveland after a Boston team that's been playing well. San Antonio. I mean, we're getting into a stretch right now where the Grizzlies are going to be tested every single game out for the next 18, 19 days or so.
Yeah, man. Look, we talked about this being the tread and water stretch, and that's why, man, that Ja Morant suspension. It was only one game, but that was one game that I feel like, based on the way that game was played, the Grizzlies win if Ja plays. They win that game with Ja Morant on the floor. Toronto was not overly impressive to me. So that's a missed opportunity. And you're already 3-4. You're about to start playing some of these top-tier Western Conference teams. And, some of those guys that you need back are still, a few weeks away. So, yeah, it's about to get tough.
Yeah, it really is. Vince Williams Jr., he returned. He's been back a couple games now. What are you seeing in the return of Vince?
Man, he's looked solid. And, it's a tricky situation because his last ankle injury, I don't know if this has been said, but it was related to the ankle injury that he missed all the time from last season. So it's a situation where he's still being bothered and hampered by that ankle injury from last season. And he was telling me, some days there's just days he wakes up and it doesn't feel, that's kind of what happened. So, he's basically, he's battling, he's competing, and I think these last few games you started to see some of, what we remember seeing from Vince, whether it's he made a couple threes, against the Raptors, or the defensive tenacity, like against the Lakers. He was all up in Luka's grill, and he got a big time steal, in that game as well. Like, you start to see some of that havoc-wreaking defensive playmaking. So hopefully he can stay healthy so he can keep that up and, kind of make a role, like create a definitive role, because we see him in stretches and then it's like, he's off like the wind, but hopefully he can turn this into a definitive role.
Hey, DeMichael, so we have Cade Cunningham coming in here tonight, and I've just been wondering with this redemption game, in which I've been calling it on Sports 56 all day today for Ja. Do you think Ja needs to be more focused on the opponent in front of him, or showing us, so to speak, that the other day was a blip, that he is who he is? And when I say that, I don't know if you played high school sports, but sometimes we take things personal from a coach, and it's like, you know what, regardless who's out here, I'm going for 40 tonight. I'm going for 50 tonight. From a professional standpoint in team play, would you like to see Ja more in a vengeance situation, or does he needs to play team ball, let bygones be bygones?
But first of all, man, I don't know what you mean. What you mean? You don't know if I played high school sports? I was a dog, man.
That's crazy,
I was a dog, man. I was a beast. But anyway, I think.
So you know about Coach making you mad in front of Mom, man. Trying to score in front of Mom.
And I gotta do my thing. But yeah, man, I think it's just go out there and be dominant. That should be his goal. Like, everyone, not only was the situation embarrassing, but he was on national TV, and I think he sees the stuff like we see it. Where reports are saying even if he was to be like traded or whatever, there's not a robust trade market for him and things like that. Like, that just all to me is just motivation. At the end of the day, and it's just like you got people, just talking about you.
I'll say it for you.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin calling him not a top 40 player in the NBA. Stuff like that.
Yeah, Blake Griffin said it. Then it's been more than that. But at this point, prove them wrong. And what better way to do that than go out against a really good Pistons team one game after your suspension? So it's going to be a lot of eyes there, and going to put on a show.
And I hope he does. I hope he doesn't take it personally, because we all got to remember this also comes off the heels of the Out the Mud podcast, where Kendrick Perkins was kind of speaking on character. You speaking on, hey, I doesn't mess with me, I doesn't mess with him, because of rifts or issues or things like that. So hopefully Ja doesn't take it personal and he goes out there and plays team ball.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully. Well, we'll see here in just a couple hours what Ja Morant and this Grizzlies team looks like. DeMichael, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, Michael.
I can't believe you.
Me?
Yeah.
What'd I do?
You did. You let the the Tiger Killer pass. We used to have those Tiger Killer conversations.
Oh, yeah.
And Bassie, when he brought up Bassie, I thought about you. I was like, Tiger Killer.
He sure was, wasn't he?
Killer.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but you're right. He was.
Tiger Killer.
Yeah, no, Tiger Killer, Grizz Killer. There's more Grizz Killers than there are Tiger Killers, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at that, I guess.
I think so. I think that's right. I think there's more Grizz Killers.
Or maybe we just see it because, it's a lot easier to be a Grizz Killer when, especially if they're in conference or division and you see them 4 times a year and they're just doing their thing against you every time.
CJ McCollum.
Sure. If you're the Tigers, you might see them once their entire career in college, especially if it's a non-conference team. So do you really become a killer at that point?
Okay, I get it. But
Bassie, how many times do they see Bassie? Once or twice?
Maybe, I think
once, maybe?
Maybe
twice.
Okay.
I don't know.
I get it. With that type of definition, I totally get it, because you would probably reserve.
What are you calling Drew Timmy a Tiger Killer?
No. I'm actually about to give you a great example. I mean, it always goes back to me because I'm a little older. The Cincinnati Bearcats. They had several Tiger Killers. When you go, Nick Van Exel, Kenyon Martin, who broke his leg here at the Tomb of Doom once upon a time.
Well, heck, I mean, that Tulane team a couple years ago, I mean, it felt like they had 3 guys on their team, and one of them was averaging 12 points. And then every time he played the Tigers, like 2 years in a row, twice both years, it's like every time he played the Tigers, he would go for like 25. And you're like, oh man, this guy
is a Tiger killer, right?
Is incredible. So yeah, that would be for sure a Tiger killer. We always appreciate DeMichael Cole. Make sure to go read his work. I mean, with everything going on around the Grizzlies right now, he is on top of it. So make sure you go check out his work over at the Commercial Appeal. But before we get to a break, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsors, Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, it's Monday Night Football. The Cowboys and the Cardinals will make our pick. We'll preview that game. We'll also get to our Big Four Cowboys and Big Four Cardinals of all time. We do that next on Sports Time.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
Hey everybody out there, Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Collierville at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
If you're thinking of selling your home, think of me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf, because I've got the tools. No, I can't fix anything around the house. Heck, I never even finished my shoe shine kit in high school shop. And if you play golf with me, you'll see why I'm known as the worst golfer in town. And they call me Mr. Three-Putt or Sheldon the Shank. But I have all the tools to get your home sold. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. And I'm part of a nationwide relocation network that provides many more transferred buyers coming into our market. Always interview 2 to 3 brokers. Make sure you include me, the bald, bad golfer who people say when you want the job done, call Sheldon. Reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's right, my website says it all. memphisrelocate.com, or anytime call me at 483-0546.
Rick's Powder Coating, for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com. This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's got a little bit heavier in the last few minutes. 240 getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. It's also picked up over here on 40 eastbound from Sycamore View Road all the way out past Germantown Parkway. Just watch your speed a little bit there on I-40 going eastbound as you continue out into Fayette County. Hey, Zips Car Wash, that's where I go. And so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection right now at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out online at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard. ABC's Monday Night Football.
All right, it's another Monday night. That means Monday Night Football, and we've got a matchup down in the great state of Texas. The Arizona Cardinals are on the road in Dallas to take on Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones, of course, at the table right now for Monday Night Football Countdown. They're actually announcing that the NHL Stadium Series will be heading to AT&T Stadium in 2027. Gary Bettman is, I believe that's his name, is the commissioner of the NHL. He is also at the table to announce that. And the lower third right now says Cowboys trade deadline plans. So they've moved on to a new topic, talking about trade deadline plans. And earlier this afternoon, Jerry Jones on SiriusXM said that the Cowboys have made a trade that has not been announced yet, but will immediately help some of their shortcomings. So,
got quite a few of those.
They definitely do, and certainly have some shortcomings on the defensive side of the ball.
Formerly of the NBA, Gary Bettman.
That's right.
Took his talents to the NHL and just owned that thing.
To the NHL. So tonight on the field, Cardinals and Cowboys. We've got some injuries. The biggest one, Kyler Murray, not expected to play. He's listed as questionable right now, but it is looking unlikely that he will play tonight, dealing with a foot injury. We'll see if he goes, but I think there was a report that came out earlier that he is unlikely to go tonight. So right now, the Cowboys, a 3.5-point favorite.
Give it.
Who are you taking?
I've already made. I placed a bet yesterday on a parlay. I had Seattle big. I gave the points, and I had the under 52. So shout out to that 48 or 49 that came in yesterday, and it kept this bet alive today. Cowboys give the 3 and over 52.5. I believe.
Okay. All right. So you're giving the whole parlay out. Yep. Landon, who are you taking tonight?
Well, I've been surrounded by the words of Norris this afternoon.
Okay.
And he has the words of Norris, and he's big. He's big on the Cowboys, and he's rooting for the Cowboys. And I told him, if the Cowboys can get things done on offense, I think they got a pretty good chance tonight. So give me the Cowboys tonight.
All right. I hope you're right.
I was surrounded once by Margaret. I was just to let you know.
That's because you had food.
I hope it's Cowboys tonight. I think I'll go with Cowboys, especially if Kyler Murray doesn't play. I think we've seen this Cardinals team really struggle. They're 2-5 on the season. If they don't have that starting quarterback, the guy that leads them in both passing yards and rushing yards, then I think they're really going to struggle. And so if he's out, then I think it's all Dallas. So I will take the Dallas Cowboys minus that 3.5 here tonight.
Bright spot for Arizona, though. Brissett has thrown 2 touchdowns in 2 of his games. So he will show up.
Okay, good for him.
He is good for him. So he ain't messing with my Cowboys tonight. D, what's wrong?
Hope he doesn't show up tonight.
I hope he doesn't.
But we'll see.
Hope he put some points up. I hope he put some points up. I got a 53 spot to get to.
Yeah, well, that's true. You need the points tonight. But you look at this Dallas Cowboys team, and it just feels like every other week you kind of see something different from them. You have the start of the season where they play really well on the road against the Eagles, but it's a loss. They go out the next week, they get the win against the Giants, but then they come out the very next week on the road against the Bears team that I think has improved. I think is better than what we thought they were then. They go out and just won even a game, 31-14. Then they come out the next week when everyone thought, okay, this Cowboys team is dead, and they tie a red-hot Packers team at the time. Then they come out the next week, they get the win against the Jets. Everything's going well. You're feeling really good. Then you come out against I think, bad Panthers team. Now, the Panthers are looking a lot better. They got a big win
a winning
over the weekend. Yeah, that's exactly right. But you lose at the very end of the game to that Panthers team, and you're kind of back down in defeat. Then you go out the next week, you beat the Commanders. Then maybe feeling good again. You come out last week and lose, just get blasted on the road against the Broncos. So, the way it's looking, loss, win, loss, tie, win, loss, win, loss.
And you got to throw in a little bit of acrimony, too. You got to recall those drops that CD had, that he came back in the postgame and said, hey, this won't happen again. Now he's playing better. Now that George Pickens is looking number one-ish, I would never crown. Let me say this to a Cowboy fan. I would never crown Pickens a number one over CD Lamb.
Certainly.
That is stupid, and I've heard that several times.
Yeah, he's definitely not. I do think this is a great 1-2.
Yes, and 2.
But he's definitely the 2 in that equation. Brett is also going to take the Dallas Cowboys. I have his picks for this game and his big 4 for both the Cowboys and the Cardinals. Hopefully it is the Dallas Cowboys that get the win tonight. But it was, before we get to this big 4, it was a weird weekend around the NFL. Some of the results and some of the injuries that have come out of it. Everyone saw the Jaden Daniels injury last night. Really ugly. Don't really want to talk much about it, but it was a really ugly injury.
Quick question about these injuries, and Landon chime in too. Is this one of the, and I call them devastating injuries. I wanted to put Neighbors in there because that was kind of a non-contact, but that's ACL. But I mean, like Fred Warner getting rolled up on, you see the ankle snap. Tyreek Hill, when he ran out of bounds, you saw that left leg turn. And now you see Jaden yesterday. That elbow totally snapped. So this is a year for like gruesome injuries.
No,
have you guys recalled a year with more than like 1 or 2 of
No,
them?
not like this, and definitely not to the degree as which they've been happening, and to like you're classifying them how bad they've been looking as well. I mean, I was at the Titans game.
Scatterbo's ankle.
Yeah, Scatterbo's ankle. But I was at the Titans game this Sunday and watching Joe Alt go down.
How about that?
And Joe Alt was backing up, and a dude just fell directly on his knee. He has a torn ACL. He's out for the season.
Yeah, I mean, just
so
really,
it's been brutal.
Tucker Kraft, the guys with
with Tucker
ACL
Kraft is now out with the rest of the season.
It's been a lot of injuries this year in the NFL, and you're right. Some of these injuries, that Jaden Daniels injury last night was, arm going in the direction it is never supposed to go with.
But I'm gonna tell you, if you go back and watch Tyreek's was the worst because Tyreek did not notice it at first. He kind of looked and he was like, "My leg is turned the other way," and it was like,
Yeah, Tyreek's was really weird because I think like the shock was setting.
It was shock.
So
it was shock. It was shock. He was laughing as he was getting carted off.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a very weird situation. With
Get
him,
well soon, all of you.
Yeah, definitely a weird weekend around the NFL. We'll certainly talk a lot more NFL tomorrow when we have some more time, and obviously Bo Marchant going to join us to talk a bunch of NFL, but some strange results and some strange injuries, and we'll see what happens tonight as we kind of wrap up week number 9 with the Cardinals and the Cowboys. All right, let's get to big 4 for both of these teams. Who wants to start? Anybody?
Brett normally lets me go first. You guys hadn't noticed that? Of course I get to go first.
Please.
Brett says, Darren, you're the visitor.
No, Brett goes first.
Hey.
Well, now we're reversing it because you're here, so we let Brett go first.
Okay. All right.
You have his list, right?
No, he has his own list. I have Brett's list.
No, that's what I'm saying.
List. Oh, so you want me to read Brett's list?
Yeah, let's let quote unquote Brett go first in place
of Darren. And if the people didn't know, he was named the Employee of the Year, you guys, today. So round of applause for Landon.
Thus says the station.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'll start with Brett's big four. I'm gonna start with Dallas. His big four for Dallas: Staubach, Aikman. That's 1-2, I should say. Emmitt Smith 3 and Bob Lilly 4. His Arizona big four: number 1, Larry Fitzgerald; number 2, Dan Deerdorf; number 3, Jim Hart; and number 4, Roger Worley. So that is his big four for Arizona. Now, do y'all want me to just slide into mine since I'm already talking?
Go for it, man.
All right, I'll give you my big four. For the Dallas Cowboys, I have an OLI.
I have 2.
Oh, good, as you should. Des Bryant, my OLI.
Okay, I like it.
People forget.
Was not a catch.
It was a catch.
And I'll say that.
It was a catch, but that's not what we're talking about
right
now.
No, it was not.
It was a catch.
That's why I like it.
It was a catch. And I do like the Packers, but I had nightmares about them for a very long time. It felt like every year you had to run in with the Packers.
You know what? If you ever need to learn how to beat the Packers, just call the Niners. The Niners own the Packers. Just FYI. Just FYI.
All right, OLI, Des Bryant for me. Number 4, Troy Aikman. Number 3, Roger Staubach. Number 2, Michael Irvin. And number 1, Emmitt Smith. For my Cardinals list: number 4, Kurt Warner; number 3, Roger Worley; number 2, Larry Wilson; and number 1, Larry Fitzgerald.
Do we have a group lock there
For number 1?
for the Cardinals?
Like the whole big four?
Yeah.
Or just the
No, for just number 1.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I mean, I have Larry.
Yeah, I have Larry.
I think so.
You have Larry?
So. Yeah, it's number 1.
You think so? You're the one that the only one that hadn't.
I was agreeing with you. I was still saying like group lock. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You want me to shoot?
Go for it, Darren.
Okay, all right. I'll get her out of the way. Number 4 for my Arizona Cardinals, Emmitt Smith. He'll be a guy that'll show his face on both of my lists.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Aeneas Williams, one of the best cornerbacks ever. If you were a little tyke like myself in the early 90s and you had a Nintendo, you played with Aeneas Williams. He was the next best cornerback to one guy named Deion Sanders from back in the day. Number 3, I'm going to go with Mr. Patrick Peterson. He's going to be he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Just easy enough, easily said. And number 1, Larry Fitzgerald. I will turn my attention to the Dallas 49ers / Cowboys, who steal all of my players. And I'll let you know by my list. Number 4, former 49er, but Dallas Cowboy first, Ken Norton Jr. Number 3, former 49er first, Terrell Owens will come in at number 3. Number 2, former 49er, Charles Haley. And at number 1, like I told you, he'll be on both lists. He's not a former Niner, Emmitt Smith.
So if the Niners are so good against the Packers, why can none of those Niners beat the Packers?
It's a guy named Brett back in the day. And I ain't talking stats. I mean, simply enough. We got better. Once we got him out of the way, we weren't as bad against A-Rod. Weren't as bad against A-Rod, especially not now, because A-Rod knows what Kaepernick did to him. But it was just something about that guy. He kept us from a Super Bowl or 2. So, hey.
Yeah, that's right. Landon, your list?
All right. Well, I have an OLI for the Cardinals as well. This is a personal favorite of mine. I'm going David Boston. David Boston, wide receiver.
Boston, one of the most uniquely built wide receivers you will ever. And fair enough, right, guys?
Yep. Nope. Very fair. But
built.
When he was on the field, man, he was a beast out there.
He took his shirt off. It was like, oh my God.
Okay, here we go. That's going to be my OLI. My number 4, I'm going Night Train Lane, man. Get him on the list. Now, my number 3, I'm going Aeneas Williams, like you, Darian. My number 2, Patrick Peterson. My number 1, group lock, Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, you think Cardinals, you think Larry Fitzgerald.
3, 2, and 1, lock it still.
There you are. My Cowboys, I have 2 OLIs for these guys. My first one, Tyron Smith, one of the greatest linemen to ever play the game of football. I'll die on that hill. The dude was incredible.
He was.
And my other OLI, Jason Witten, one of the greatest tight ends out there. I mean, come on now. Jason Witten, great guy. My number 4, Michael Irvin. 3, Troy Aikman. 2, Emmitt Smith. And then number 1, I'm going to go Roger Staubach.
First of all, don't die on me. Second of all, there's a guy
employee of the year. I can't die.
Second of all, there's a guy named Jay Novacek that,
Yeah, okay.
may have a word or two about that Witten thing. It's my old school show.
No, Jason Witten.
I have to represent for John Harden. We're old. I have to say, we're old. What are you thinking about? So, it's contractually obligated. Sir.
I love a good Jason Witten. If you're going to put him on a list, I'm completely fine with that. But those are a big force for both Cowboys and Arizona. That game will get started here in a little over an hour. Now, a little programming note. Usually we have the NFL right here on Sports 56. We got you covered with all the primetime games. Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football. But tonight, we will not have the NFL. So if you're looking for the NFL, we will not have it. That's because Ole Miss basketball kicks off their season tonight against Southeast Louisiana. 7 o'clock tip. So we will have the 6:30 pregame for that matchup. So no NFL, but we'll have Ole Miss basketball right here on Sports 56. As always, you can watch the game on TV, ABC, and ESPN tonight. But we need to get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
This holiday season is short. Make every moment magical with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you'll take all your festive looks to the next level and find gifts to wow every one of your family and friends. Discover our unmatched quality, brilliant natural diamonds, and spectacular service when you shop in store or online at Sissy'sLogCabin.com. Make this the most wonderful time of the year with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye! Hello, high school. It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Darian, I really have a lot of what I could have done withouts today, and I don't really... So I'm going to use one of those for what I learned today, and it is some news coming out earlier this afternoon on ESPN. I saw this. Sources, UFC releases Isaac Dolgarian amid betting review. So I'm not familiar with Isaac Dolgarian. Are you anybody know anything about Isaac Dolgarian? I'm not familiar.
I was just making sure.
Yeah,
I was just making sure you didn't say Darian. I was like,
no, Darian's not being investigated at all. But I think good news, bad news here. Good news for the NBA, they're not going to be the center of attention anymore. Of all this is happening in the NBA and in basketball. Now it's other sports getting involved. The bad news is other sports getting involved now, and this feels like it's going to be widespread, and we're going to have all of these professional leagues investigated, names coming out, people coming out. So add another sport to the list of sports being investigated for betting scandals.
All right, good sir. I'll be quick with this. What I could have done without is the University of Memphis Lady Tigers losing today.
Another thing that I could have done without.
To University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, 69-64. But the one the one good thing or the one spotlight that came out of it, former Horn Lake High standout, India Bowen. Listen to this stat line: 29 points, 9 boards, and 3 assists. So shout out to her coming back home and doing a little work, letting her cook, as Glorilla would say.
Now she plays for Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Arkansas Pine Bluff, yes.
Why ain't she a Tiger? I mean, what happened to
Alex Simmons?
I'd like to have that stat line with the Lady Tigers. So yeah, and you said it earlier when we opened the show. They had one Division I win last year, and now starting the season, one win. So definitely not good there for the Lady Tigers. Well, what I could have done without today, a lot of things, but I'll go with these injuries we're seeing last night. The Jaden Daniels injury was brutal, and now today, Coach Quinn saying that he left Jaden Daniels in too long, saying it was 100% on me. We talked earlier with Jonah Dillon about was Brendan Lewis out there too long against Rice? The game wrapped up. Do you even throw him out there in the fourth quarter? That's always hindsight 2020. Very easy after fact. Go, I should have pulled him earlier. But at the same time, it's a tricky situation. The other thing, this news just came out a couple hours ago. Spurs rookie Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick
rookie of the year
draft, your rookie of the year. He's going to be sidelined for a couple of weeks with a calf strain, expected to be out multiple weeks with that injury. But this Spurs team, the young talent they're mixing with some of these older guys, they have been a fun team to watch this season.
They are extremely fun. So I think I omitted this. I think we just did it kind of in spurts. So I'll give you what I learned.
Okay, you did it backwards.
Yeah, I think I did it backwards. Right. So quickly, what I learned today is Scottie Scheffler is extremely, extremely rich. Check this out. Scottie Scheffler earned $49.5 million in the PGA this year. That's $2.3 million, Mr. Landon, per round. Per tournament. $620,000 per round. $9,000 per shot. $2,300 per minute on the course, assuming that he played 5.5 hours per round. Not a bad day, right? Not a bad day.
At the office.
Weekend, whatever it is. Shout out to
We're doing math here today. It's too late for math.
Memphis math, as Johnny would call it. But 49 mil.
That's really good. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to 191. Beale Street. I think that's the address, if I'm not mistaken, of the home of the Memphis Grizzlies. I need to see the first half reaction. I need to see Ja when he comes out. I need to see how he's reacting to Tuamos Isolo. I need to see how the crowd is reacting to him. So send me down to FedEx Forum tonight to watch Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and those Pistons against our Beale Street Bears.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game. How about me to some college basketball tonight? We've got Florida and Arizona, and then after that, we've got AJ DeBonza making his debut for BYU, so should be a lot of fun, but a ton to watch tonight. You've got college basketball, you've got the Grizzlies and the NBA, you've got NFL tonight with the Cowboys and the Cardinals, so a ton to watch tonight. Enjoy all the action.
If you're wondering, the Tigers get the season started this Saturday.
That's
they're
right.
not playing.
Yeah,
they're not playing tonight nor tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah, they're not on tonight, but a lot of action tonight. Enjoy it all. That's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour, so the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay.